Chapter 622. A genius remembers love in a second? Speaking of the net, I will provide you with wonderful novels to read. Young madam. This subordinate, the captain of the third squad, Night Peace, greets the two young ladies, but the captain of the guards bowed in greeting, but he was conflicted about whether to let them go or not, because he could not confirm the identities of Yang Lei and Sikong Chuyu. Sigh. We won't make things difficult for you. We will camp outside the city. If you need to fight, come and inform us. Seeing the captain of the Night Moon City Guards at a loss, Yang Lei laughed, because she felt that the people of Night Moon were very polite, and even had this perseverance in their politeness. GDQ hair, young madam, it's my fault that I can't let you enter the city. Now, I will arrange for you to camp, and once I confirm the identities of the two young madams, I will be willing to apologize. Men, go and inform the ninth elder. Night Peace brought Yang Lei and the others to camp while arranging for people to inform the city. You're right to do so. Sikong Chuyu nodded towards Night Peace. Sikong Chuyu felt that as a person, one had to have perseverance. Night Sorrow had perseverance, and so did Night Peace. The god-slaying squad camped outside the city on Night Moon, but no one complained, because Night Peace had even sent people to get food and drink. After receiving the notice, Yi Xiaoyuan immediately came to the god-slaying squad's camp. Just as Yi Xiaoyuan exchanged a few words with Yang Lei and Sikong Chuyu, two flying demonic beasts appeared in the air. It's the captain. Captain, I'm Lei Bao, we're here. Seeing Tianyu appear, Lei Bao shouted at the top of his lungs. Night Sorrow, who was drinking with Yun Huang, who was riding the silver-winged eagle on Tianyu's back, heard the shout and immediately called out to Yun Huang. The two of them controlled the flying demonic beasts to land. Yi Xiaoyuan greets young lord and young master Yun. Yi Xiaoyuan and the few elders all bowed to Night Sorrow. You're too courteous. Why are you here? Seeing Yang Lei, Sikong Chuyu, and the members of the god-slaying team, Night Sorrow was very surprised. Auntie Fei was worried that someone would come to Yus City to cause trouble, so she arranged for us to come here. The main reason was that we couldn't find you, so we could only wait here, Yang Lei said. Elder. Among these people, two are my fiancé. Yi Xiaoyuan, Night Yi, Night Peace, Night Sorrow. Your subordinate, Yi Anning, didn't know young madam's identity and blocked young madam's group outside the city. This is your subordinate's dereliction of duty. Please punish me, young master. After hearing the conversation between Yi Shang and Yi Xiaoyuan, Yi Anning knelt on one knee and accepted his punishment. Night peace, night peace. It's good that young lord doesn't mind. Then let's enter the city. Young lord going to the Tianfeng dynasty and the Qingming dynasty to wash the city lord's mansion in blood is really satisfying, allowing us Night Moon people to vent our anger, but we can't do that anymore, it's too dangerous. Yi Xiaoyuan was very happy in his heart. He was happy that Night Sorrow had returned, happy that Night Sorrow was so graceful and magnanimous. From his attitude towards Night Sorrow, Yi Xiaoyuan had a better understanding of Night Sorrow's temperament. While moving forward, Night Sorrow gave Yun Huang and the members of the god-slaying squad an introduction. Both sides greeted each other politely. They were all proud people, and since Yun Huang did not understand the members of the god-slaying squad, he naturally looked at them with normal eyes. Although Yang Lei, Ling Long and the others knew that Yun Huang was following Night Sorrow into battle, they still had their doubts. Yi Xiaoyuan arranged for the members of the god-slaying squad to stay in an empty mansion. When Yi Shang was about to send them off, Yi Xiaoyuan shook his head and said, Young master, you have other residences. Come with me and take a look. There's no need to go through so much trouble. I'll stay here. Night Sorrow said. Baidu search love go little say WAI Chux. Calm, young lord, you are now the person with the highest authority in the Night Moon dynasty, so naturally, you have to have a place to give orders. This subordinate has tidied up and built a mansion right next to the former Wuyo mansion, which is very close to here. Everyone can go over and take a look, and it will be convenient for you to walk back and forth in the future. Yi Xiaoyuan bowed and said, "That's fine, then let's go over now." Knight Sorrow thought for a moment and said. Following that, Yi Xiaoyuan led the group to a very stylish and elegant residence. This place was newly renovated and built. In fact, this was originally young lord's residence. Because this is a subsidiary of Ashoka Manor, it's where the direct descendants of Ashoka Manor reside. Okay, then I'll stay here for now. Knight Sorrow nodded. As for the lintel, I really don't know how to hang it. Yi Xiaoyuan exhaled and said. After confirming that Knight Sorrow was a direct descendant of the Night Moon dynasty, Yi Xiaoyuan understood that Knight Sorrow's status was noble, but he didn't have a title, so it wasn't easy to hang the lintel of the mansion. That's not important, let's go in. I have something to tell everyone. Knight Sorrow glanced at the group of Night Moon citizens behind Yi Xiaoyuan and said. After entering the mansion and sitting down, Knight Sorrow took out a few storage rings and placed them on the table in front of him. Young lord, what are you doing? Yi Xiaoyuan looked at Knight Sorrow in confusion. These are some resources that Yun Huang and I obtained from killing some opponents in the city lord's mansion. Night Moon City has many things to do and needs resources to rebuild. Everyone also needs to improve their cultivation, so elder, you can arrange it as you see fit. Knight Sorrow said. No, we can't take your resources. Yi Xiaoyuan refused. Take it. Don't reject the young lord's kindness. Two elders appeared in the mansion. Ling Lan, Ling Yuan, two law enforcers. They really are law enforcers. Yi Xiaoyuan looked at the two elders excitedly. Knight Sorrow also stood up because these two were beginner-level supremacies. We know about the young lord's deeds, so we came back. I'm Yi Ling Lan. Young lord, can you show us your identity jade token again? The elder called Ling Lan by Yi Xiaoyuan looked at Knight Sorrow and asked. Knight Sorrow nodded and took out his identity jade token and handed it to Yi Ling Lan. Yi Ling Lan's hands trembled as he held the jade token. Yi Ling Yuan, who was standing at the side, also stared at the jade token. After a while, Yi Ling Lan handed the jade token back to Knight Sorrow. Young lord, can you use the spatial fissure? Knight Sorrow nodded and activated his bloodline talent. He used the spatial fissure in the air. As Knight Sorrow used the spatial fissure, a black spatial fissure appeared out of nowhere. Under the control of Knight Sorrow's union of heaven and man, it closed very slowly. At this moment, Yi Ling Lan and Yi Ling Yuan bowed at the same time. Yi Ling Lan and Yi Ling Yuan of the Mad God lineage greets the young lord. Seniors, please don't. You are all seniors. Knight Sorrow quickly helped Yi Ling Lan and Yi Ling Yuan up. We are the lineage of the 8th son of the Moon Monarch, Mad God lineage. The one in charge of the family is Mad God lineage. The next in charge of the family is Mad God lineage. Royal Uncle Shenchuan's successor is the undefeated king, Brother Wang Huan. After him is Prince Wuyo. You are the only son of Prince Wuyo. Chapter 623. A genius remembers love in 1 second? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. There are many princes in the Night Moon dynasty. To determine if one is a direct descendant, it depends on the strength of their bloodline. Only those with a pure bloodline can use spatial rend. Others can use spatial rend. There is no problem with the purity of the young master's bloodline. Even if he is not from Wuyo's bloodline, he is from another branch of Prince Wu Mo's bloodline. He is worthy of being called young master. Love Go Little Say Yi Ling Lan didn't give Knight Sorrow a chance to deny his identity as the young master, even if he wasn't Prince Wuyo's son. Actually, this subordinate can determine whether or not young master is Prince Wuyo's legitimate son. Back then, during young master Xiao Xiao's 1-month-old birthday banquet, when Prince Linghuan was holding young master, the swaddling clothes slipped off. This subordinate could clearly see a red birthmark on the back of young master Xiao Xiao's right shoulder. Yi Lingyuan said. Looks like I really am, but I'm now called Knight Sorrow. Knight Sorrow took off his robe. Yang Lei reached out and pulled the back collar of Knight Sorrow's robe. Everyone saw that there was a red birthmark under Night Sorrow's right shoulder. Yi Shang. Why is young Master Xiao Xiao called by this name? Yi Linglan looked at Yi Shang, who had finished putting on his robes, with some confusion. It's to commemorate the members of the Yi clan who died protecting me. Those who were close to me died, and those who were close to me died. That's why my name is Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow exhaled and revealed the origin of his name. That's what I should do. I dare not comment on the young master's name. You are? Yi Linglan looked at Yi Xiaoyuan. Elders, Yi Xiaoyuan is from a branch family. In terms of seniority, I'm from the 4th generation. I've been staying in the Night Moon dynasty. Now that the 2 elders and the young master have returned, please take charge of the situation. Yi Xiaoyuan bowed and said. You've done well. In the past, we went out to carry out a mission and missed the war. Later, we felt that it was meaningless for us to come out and fight if our clansmen didn't return. Hence, we have been living in seclusion in Taiqing City. When we heard that the young master destroyed the cities of the Tianfeng and Qingming dynasties, we decided to return. Love go little say W. Yi Linglan bowed to Night Sorrow. I don't know how to address you, but you are an elder. You can't be like this. Yi Shang hurriedly helped Yi Linglan up. The 2 of us are from the same generation as Prince Ling Huan. In the past, our cultivation bases were at the peak of the void inquiry stage. We didn't have a title before we entered the venerable realm. In the past, we were attendants. However, in terms of cultivation base, we can now serve as outer elders. Currently, the main force of the Night Moon dynasty isn't here. We will do what we should do well. Yi Linglan said. After that, Yi Xiaoyuan handed over the storage rings that Night Sorrow took out to Yi Linglan. Then let's see what kind of resources the young master took out and see how to use them in the most reasonable way. Yi Linglan said and opened the storage rings. W only /TE, W original 7M version R. ZQD #all v/pirated version. Piles of crystal stones and medicine bottles appeared in front of everyone. Night Sorrow introduced the 5th grade pills, 4th grade pills, 3rd grade pills, 4th grade pills, 4th grade pills, 3rd grade pills, pills that could increase one's cultivation base by 1 level, pills that could assist in cultivation and so on. There are so many resources. It's enough for us to recuperate in the Night Moon dynasty for a while. It's also enough for us to nurture our young people. Yi Lingyuan looked at the resources on the ground and said excitedly. It's inconvenient to travel in the Night Moon dynasty. However, I can set up 2 teleportation formations. I just don't know how to set them up properly. Night Sorrow looked at Yi Linglan and Yi Lingyuan and said. We need to set up one in the Night Moon dynasty while the other one needs to be set up in the safe zone between us and Taiqing City. After that, it will be connected to Taiqing City. Yi Lingyuan said. No. If our teleportation formation is connected to Taiqing City's teleportation formation, we will be exposed directly. It won't do us any good. Night Sorrow shook his head and rejected this idea. He did not want to be high profile in the Night Moon dynasty as it would attract the attention of other forces. Young Master is right. In that case, 2 teleportation formations are not enough. Yi Linglan nodded and agreed with Night Sorrow's idea. How about this? I'll see if I can get more teleportation crystals. If I can, then we can set up a teleportation formation in the Night Moon dynasty in a secret place in Taiqing City. This way, it will be easier to exchange resources and collect materials. Night Sorrow said. Young Master can decide on these matters. However, young Master's safety comes first. We were powerless in the past and no one would blame us. However, if something happens to young Master now, we won't be able to face the ancestors of the Yi clan. Yi Linglan said. Alright, then I'll trouble you 2 elders with Night Moon dynasty. As for the Night Moon dynasty, let them rebuild it. If they have the ability, they can come and destroy it. As long as the people of the Night Moon dynasty are still here, we must rebuild it. Night Sorrow thought for a moment and said. Young master, you don't have to worry about Night Moon Dynasty. We will take care of it. Yi Ling-lan said. Then, Yi Ling-lan left with his men. However, he left a small group of guards at the entrance of Knight Soro's mansion. Captain, you've been in the limelight recently. It's not nice of you to not take us with you. Ling Long said. This can't be helped. With few people, I have the pagoda of time and space to protect me. I can retreat at a critical moment. With too many people, I can't fight and retreat whenever I want. Besides, this is my personal matter. I shouldn't drag you guys down with me. Knight Sorrow said. Captain, this is your fault. We are brothers. Shouldn't brothers face difficulties together? Lei Bao said. Yes. When the team is on the move, your words are orders. We will definitely carry them out. However, in private, I still want to say something. When I joined the team, you said that if I wanted to join the team, I should at least be a brother's back and be able to block a blade for a brother. Now, you're saying that only you can block a blade for us and we can't do the same. Ling Long said. All right. However, we need a more thorough plan. We need to investigate thoroughly before we can make a move. Knight Sorrow said. Leave the investigation to me. Yun Huang said. You are the captain's brother. However, we can't let others take the risk for the god-slaying team. Ho Jian said. Knight Sorrow wants to avenge Night Moon Dynasty. I am his brother. It is only right that I help him. It has nothing to do with the god-slaying team. Yun Huang said. All right, Yun Huang and I are friends who have gone through life and death situations together. He's very suitable for scouting because he can detect cultivators with high cultivation. We can't compare to him in this aspect, said Yi Shang. After hearing Knight Sorrow's words, no one had any objections. The god-slaying team followed Knight Sorrow's lead. Yun Huang treated Knight Sorrow as his brother. No one would say anything else. After that, Yang Lei, Sikong Chuyu, Ling Long, and Nan Liue went out to buy food. Knight Sorrow and the others chatted casually. I can't tell that you look like a prince. Don't all princes wear awesome and flashy battle robes? Lei Bao looked at Yun Huang and said. I'm the real deal. When I have time, I can take you guys to the Yun Dynasty to see my prowess. Besides, isn't he a prince too? Why would he dress differently from me? Yun Huang looked at Knight Sorrow and said. Then we must go to the Yun Dynasty to see if there are any beauties. Yun Jing said. Chapter 624. Genius remembers love in 1 second/small? We will provide you with interesting novels to read. Speak clearly. How am I wretched? Lei Zheng was not willing to be looked down upon by Yun Huang. Then let's compete. Are you as tall and mighty as me? If you're not as fierce as me, then forget it. Come to our Yun Dynasty and we'll treat you with good wine and meat. However, I'll remind you of the women you're interested in. Yun Huang straightened his back and looked at Yun Zheng. All right. I'm wretched. What I want to say is, you know who is the wretched one. Lei Zheng was speechless. Yun Huang glanced at Lei Zheng with a victorious look in his eyes. After a while, Yang Lei and the others brought back a lot of delicious food. They went to a restaurant and ordered food. The restaurant sent someone to deliver it. Knight Sorrow and the others wanted to pay, but the female boss of the restaurant refused to accept it. Not to mention that you are the young master of Night Moon, just because you stood up for Night Moon, our restaurant will never charge you. In the future, we will deliver 3 meals a day. The female boss of the restaurant said. That's not appropriate. If that's the case, how can I have the face to eat a second time? Just accept the fee. Then we can eat whenever we want. There's no pressure at all. Knight Sorrow smiled and stuffed the spirit stones into the female boss's hand. After drinking, everyone dispersed. Ho Jian brought the members of the god-slaying team to the residence where they were stationed. Yun Huang also followed. The main reason was that Night Sorrow, Yang Lei, and Sikong Chuyu had just met and had a lot to talk about. Night Sorrow was worried that it would be inconvenient for Linglong and Nan Liue to go, so he arranged rooms for them. After that, Yi Shang and the other two went to the main hall of the mansion to drink tea and chat. There were also 2 servants cleaning the courtyard. They were all arranged by Yi Xiaoyuan. After drinking a pot of tea, Night Sorrow brought the 2 girls to Night Moon at the suggestion of the 2 girls and offered incense to the ancestors of the Night clan. Then, Night Sorrow brought the 2 girls to the entrance of the Night Moon Sea to take a look. It's too terrifying inside. Once you enter, you will have to face the spatial turbulence. Your protective energy won't be able to withstand it. Sikong Chuyu said. Yes. Unless you have a high-grade protective energy shield and the union of heaven and man realm to control the spatial turbulence and not get close. Otherwise, you will have to grasp the power of the laws. Otherwise, you will die. Night nodded. After staying on Night Moon Sky's island for a while, Yi Shang brought the 2 women back to their mansion to rest. With Night Sorrow's spiritual stone resources, Yi Linglan sent people out to exchange for resources and elixirs. The cultivation of the future generations was very important. It represented the future. Yun Huang had been hanging out with the members of the God-slaying squad. Usually, they would chat, but the rest of the time, he would focus on raising his cultivation level. His cultivation level was high enough, but his cultivation level was still a little low. After all, not everyone could be like Night Sorrow, who could reach his cultivation level in advance. After resting for a while, Night Sorrow decided to move. He planned to go to Taiching City first and see if he could get a spatial crystal. Night Moon City couldn't be stagnant. If they wanted to develop, they needed to exchange all kinds of resources. After communicating with Yi Linglan and Yi Lingyuan, Night Sorrow set off with the God-slaying squad. Their first stop was the first base of Tianji Tower. Yun Huang was going to take office there. Night Sorrow knew that Wu Lingfei was worried about him, so he wanted to go and tell her that he was safe. It was troublesome to not have a transmission array. Although their mounts were fast, it still took them over 20 days to reach the first base of Tianji Tower. Night Sorrow had Ho Jian take the God-slaying squad to rest. Then, he took Yun Huang and Ling Long to the inner part of the base. Love go go shao shua 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 w, ai chu x. Xiaom, the inner part of Tianji Tower wasn't a place that just anyone could enter. It needed to be checked layer by layer. However, Night Sorrow and the others were all Celestial Empire envoys, so there was no problem. In the underground hall of the base, Night Sorrow met Wu Lingfei, Lin Yuandao, and the others. Night Sorrow and the others bowed in greeting. Night Sorrow, you're too reckless. Can't you think before doing something? Don't you know how worried everyone was? Gua Shao glared at Night Sorrow. I thought about it and felt that there was no problem, so I did it. I'm sorry to have worried you seniors, Night Sorrow said, a little embarrassed. It's fine as long as it's safe. How's Night Moon City? Wu Lingfei asked. Because of the war, Night Moon City is a little desolate and dilapidated. However, it will change as we repair and recuperate. Night Sorrow nodded. Then, Lin Yuandao activated the Celestial Empire token for Yun Huang, and Yun Huang officially became a Celestial Empire envoy. What do you plan to do next? Lin Yuandao asked Night Sorrow. Kill, continue to kill. If we don't make them suffer, they'll think about making others suffer. Night Sorrow spoke of his plan. But you have to know that the dynasties have deep foundations and have more supremacies. Now that you've made them nervous, every city has a supremacy guarding it. It'll be risky if it's like what you did before, Lin Yuandao said. We'll hide from the mid-level and high-level supremacies. Night Sorrow can kill the low-level supremacies. It's useless to kill them anyway, so we'll capture the low-level supremacies and kill them. That's the only way to kill them effectively, Yun Huang said. Night Sorrow is taking revenge for Night Moon Dynasty. Why are you cheering for him? Hua Haining, who had been silent all this time, spoke up. He had always been in charge of Yun Huang's assessment. Night Sorrow is my brother. How can I be cheering for him? We're fighting for our brothers. We had a good time working together, Yun Huang said to Hua Haining. Very good. All three of you can do it, Xia Longjun said. I haven't introduced you yet. This is the Supreme Elder of Tianji Tower. Lin Yuandao introduced Xia Longjun to Night Sorrow and the other two. Night Sorrow and the other two quickly bowed to Xia Longjun. Everyone knew about the battle between Tianji Tower and the Tianfeng dynasty. Tianji Tower's high-level saint had appeared, but they didn't know who it was. After listening to Lin Yuandao's introduction, they all understood. Tianji Tower is people-oriented. If you really have any difficulties, don't forget that Tianji Tower is your backing, Xia Longjun said. Xia Longjun said. She was very satisfied with Yi Shang and the other two, especially Yi Shang. It had been many years since she had seen someone whose body was stronger than Yi Shang's. VH version L, Chapter 7, a Supra/P, yes, Night Sorrow. Is there anything you need help with? Lin Yuandao asked. He hoped to help Night Sorrow. Fighting for the Night Moon dynasty is the responsibility of Night Moon's descendants. This is what I should do. I can involve Tianji Tower, but I would like to exchange some resources with Tianji Tower, Night Sorrow said after thinking for a while. Tell me about it. Lin Yuandao nodded to Night Sorrow. I can exchange space crystals with supreme-grade spirit stones, life crystals, and soul crystals, Night Sorrow said. These are all things that can improve the strength of a venerable. The resources needed by a venerable are too scarce. Lin Yuandao nodded. The resources that Night Sorrow mentioned were all equivalent to space crystals. Chapter 625. Genius 1 second. Remember love go/little. We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Dragon Spirit Pill? Could it be the Dragon Spirit Pill that can raise the cultivation of a supremacy? Xia Longjun asked in surprise. Yes. Night Sorrow nodded. You mean you can get the Dragon Spirit Pill? Xia Longjun stood up because this was too important. With the help of the Dragon Spirit Pill, there would be more high-level supremacies in Tianji Tower. Not for the time being. I can't refine it yet. Let's wait for a while. We'll talk about exchanging resources later. When Night Sorrow heard Xia Longjun's words, he knew that Tianji Tower wouldn't use the space crystal to exchange for other resources. He felt that he had thrown away his trump card a little too early. Fortunately, he could go to Taiching City to buy it. Night Sorrow is an alchemy master himself. If he has the materials, he can enter the supremacy realm and refine level 6 pills without a problem, Wu Lingfei said. When Xia Longjun heard Night Sorrow's words, she knew that Night Sorrow had other ideas. I remember that you're also an alchemy master. As for the Dragon Spirit Pill, you're overthinking it. I was just surprised. I didn't say that the space crystal must be exchanged for the Dragon Spirit Pill. Master K, if we have extra space crystals, it won't hurt to sponsor our members. Elder Hua, do you have any? Lin Yuandao asked. Yes, after we set up a teleportation array in the city we conquered this time, we still have a few extra. Hua Haining took out 3 space crystals. This was the foundation of Tianji Tower. As long as it wasn't a side door, it would have a stockpile. After looking at it, Night Sorrow took out 2 soul crystals, 2 life crystals, and 20 top-grade spirit stones and placed them in front of Hua Haining. Elder Hua, do you think these resources can be exchanged? Yes. This is already a lot. Let's not talk about this for now. Tianji Tower hasn't rewarded you for using the origin stones to fund Chief Inspector Guan Mi. Hua Haining didn't accept the resources that Night Sorrow had offered. Let's not talk about those things. Those are my contributions as a member of Tianji Tower. If Elder Hua thinks it's okay, then I'll accept these space crystals. Night Sorrow put the 3 space crystals into his storage ring. Alright, tell me where you want to set up the teleportation array, and I'll find someone to arrange it for you. Hua Haining sighed. He understood that Night Sorrow would not and was unwilling to take advantage of Tianji Tower. There's no need for that. He's a master of array formations himself, Lin Yuandao said with a smile. After chatting with Wu Lingfei for a while, Night Sorrow bowed to everyone present and was about to leave. Exquisite and Yun Huang also bowed to the people in the hall before leaving the underground base with Night Sorrow. Supreme Elder, you've seen him. What do you think? Lin Yuandao looked at Xie Lanjun and asked. He has great charisma and is a natural leader. Didn't you notice that the two celestial emissaries also followed his lead? The rarest thing is the pride in his heart. It should be said that it's the nobility in the depths of his soul. He saluted us and didn't lower his head because he saluted us out of respect. He doesn't think he's inferior. Very good. Xie Lanjun said. That's why I plan to make him the young tower master. If it weren't for the matter of Night Moon, I would have announced it now, Lin Yuandao said. You can discuss this matter. I exist only to help when Tianji Tower is in danger. I won't say much about other things, nor will I interfere with your decisions. Xie Lanjun expressed her attitude. After leaving the underground hall, Yun Huang said excitedly, Night Sorrow, since you can refine dragon spirit pills, you must leave some for me. Otherwise, when your cultivation increases rapidly after you enter the Venerable Realm, I won't be able to play with you. Of course, that's not a problem. Night Sorrow nodded with a smile. Exquisite, aren't you going to ask if your captain will give it to you? Yun Huang asked in puzzlement when he saw that Exquisite didn't say anything. That's because you don't know our captain. There's no need to ask. If anyone in our god-slaying squad needs it, our captain will naturally give it to them. Exquisite glanced at Yun Huang and said. Is that so? Yun Huang looked at Night Sorrow. Resources are meant to be used. Relatives and brothers, whoever needs it can use it. In fact, you don't have to ask. Night Sorrow nodded. He was very gratified that Exquisite could understand him. A unique S positive and edition J, DQK Ta 30 all 4 / is robber plus, edition K, alright. You guys win. It's my fault for being narrow-minded and not being open-minded enough. Yun Huang lamented. He knew that his inner thoughts were still lacking. His definition of brothers was not enough. Don't think like that. If we can go through life and death together, that's what brothers are. There's no need to say anything else. Night Sorrow patted Yun Huang's shoulder. Haha. When are we leaving? I'll scout the area and we'll continue to rob. After we get the materials, we can get whatever resources we want. You can refine pills and array formations, and I can refine weapons. We won't need to ask anyone for help in the future. Yun Huang laughed. It's good that you can refine weapons, but it's useless if you can't refine spirit weapons. Exquisite glanced at Yun Huang and said. What are you talking about? I started refining this pair of scimitars as a Tier 2 weapon. Then, I upgraded them to Tier 3, Tier 4, and Tier 5. As long as I enter the Venerable Realm, I can refine them and upgrade them to spirit weapons. Yun Huang was very dissatisfied with Exquisite's distrustful gaze. That's not bad. Exquisite nodded. When they reached the surface base, the three of them arrived at the God-slaying squad's habitat. At this moment, the members of the God-slaying squad were sparring. Some were practicing their battle techniques, while others were practicing their array formations. These guys are really hard-working. Yun Huang was somewhat impressed by the members of the God-slaying squad. During the time he had spent with them, they had not stopped cultivating. It was as though they did not know the meaning of fatigue. We're not princes. We don't have anyone to rely on. So, we can only work hard ourselves, Exquisite said. F***CK. Why do you always have such a taste in your mouth? Yun Huang was dissatisfied with Exquisite's words. F***CKU? There are many people who have such thoughts about me. Who do you think you are? Exquisite retorted without backing down. You're awesome. You're ruthless. Can I shut up? Yun Huang was rendered speechless by Exquisite's sharp words. You two are also Heaven's fate emissaries. In the future, you'll be fighting side by side. Is there a need to quarrel like this? Night Sorrow said helplessly. Captain, you heard what he said just now. Yet, you still have such thoughts about me. That's too dirty, Exquisite said. That's not what I said when I was agitated. Is there a need to go so far? Yun Huang explained. He knew that it was inappropriate to speak to a woman like that. Give me some face. We'll be fighting side by side in the future. Let's go investigate later. Yun Huang, you have to be careful. There are so many of us. We can't make any mistakes, Night Sorrow said to Yun Huang. Chapter 626. A Genius Remembers Love in 1 Second? We provide you with interesting novels to read. The members of the God-slaying team gathered together. Night Sorrow also took out a map and chose some of the border cities of the various dynasties that could be attacked. If there's a teleportation formation in a city, we'll have to split up and destroy it. Otherwise, when the enemy's reinforcements arrive, it'll be like catching a turtle in a jar. We'll be in trouble, Night Sorrow said. How about this? After we've chosen a city to attack, I'll go in first to investigate. If there's nothing wrong, I'll come back and call for reinforcements. We'll go in and destroy the teleportation formation. The rest of us will start killing, Yun Huang said. That's a good idea. Ling Long nodded. Xue Ling, Ho Jian, Yang Lei, and the others had no objections. It was safer this way. You don't have to look at me. I'll do my best to investigate. Otherwise, if something happens, I won't be able to escape, right? But no one can be 100% sure about this. The cities aren't small. If someone is shameless enough to lie in a small tavern, I won't be able to detect it, Yun Huang said. Let's plan for both sides. If the enemy has hidden experts, all of you will retreat. I'll hold them off. Yun Huang, you cover the rear, Night Sorrow said. Okay, no problem. Yun Huang nodded. Leader, Brother Yun is helping us fight. It's better for us to cover the rear if there's danger. Xue Ling and I will cover the rear, Ho Jian said. Brother Ho, don't say that. Night Sorrow is my brother. If there's danger, I won't leave him behind. Besides, we've fought together many times and have a tacit understanding. Also, the Venerable One's spatial restraint doesn't have much effect on me. Yun Huang expressed his opinion. It's decided then. Yi Shang also felt that Yun Huang was the most suitable person to bring up the rear. Aside from him, Yun Huang's combat strength was the strongest. Most importantly, Yun Huang was not afraid of the Venerable One's spatial fetters, so he would not be killed in one blow. Since Night Sorrow said so, no one objected. The only one who was the Venerable One, and the others were all dollar-pirated. The group took the teleportation formation to the Tai Ching domain and rested in an inn. At Xue Ling's suggestion, Night Sorrow decided to make a batch of masks for everyone. Then Night Sorrow arranged for Xue Ling to go to the workshop. Yun Huang took the teleportation formation to investigate. Yun Huang is a good person. The two of us have looted many cities in the past, but he didn't want any of the resources. Furthermore, he has always fought alongside me. We can be said to be good brothers. He hoped that the members of the God-slaying team would be able to accept Yun Huang. After all, they would be fighting together for a long time in the future. It would not be good if there was a barrier or a knot in their hearts. Captain, don't worry. I was just teasing him today. Although he is the prince of the Yun dynasty, he doesn't have that kind of arrogant and lewd aura. That is rare and precious, Ling Long said. All right, then we'll wait for his news. Yun Huang can detect cultivators who are 5 levels higher than him. If he can see their cultivation, then we can fight. If he can't, then we can only hide, said Yi Shang. Yun Huang returned on the night of the 3rd day. I've investigated 3 cities in the Golden Dragon King's empire. 2 of them have teleportation formations, Yunhuang said after returning to the inn. Then I'll talk about the battle plan. After we enter the city, we'll take over the teleportation formation and leave a group of people to guard it. Kill anyone who gets close to the formation. We can't let any information leak or reinforcements appear, Night Sorrow said. Leader, wouldn't it be safer if we destroy the teleportation formation? Xue Fei asked. Yunhuang found 2 cities that can be attacked. If we destroy the teleportation portal, we won't be able to reach the next city quickly. When news of the attack spreads, Yunhuang's investigation results will be nullified. Who knows if they will increase their manpower at the last minute? So this is my plan. After successfully attacking, we'll take the teleportation formation to the next city. One of us will stay behind to destroy the teleportation formation. The one who destroys the teleportation formation will leisurely sit on a flying demon beast to find the nearest city with a teleportation formation. Then, we'll come back here to meet up, Night Sorrow said. Good plan. We can even get the teleportation formation's spatial crystal, Ho Jian said. Of course it's good. If you can come up with such a battle plan, then you can be the leader, Nan Liyue said as she glanced at Ho Jian. Nan Liyue, you're too much. As long as there's a chance, you're going to bite me, right? Ho Jian looked at Nan Liyue gloomily. I'm just speaking the truth. I'm embarrassed by your words. I've decided that I won't bully you in the future, Nan Liyue said. How rare. Ho Jian sighed. It's mainly bullying honest people, Lei Bao said. In fact, Ho Jian was very steady and didn't talk much. Lei Bao, are you looking for a beating? If I bully Ho Jian, then I'll bully you in the future. Nan Liyue was unhappy after being reprimanded by Lei Bao. It's still a little early. Chu Yu, make a pot of tea. I'll see who bites harder, Night Sorrow said with a smile. He knew that these people were just bickering. No one really took it to heart. The sun set in the west and the sky darkened. After Night Sorrow led the team to the teleportation formation in the Tai Ching region, they teleported to the target city. After exiting the teleportation formation, Night Sorrow and the members of the God-slaying team directly killed the guards guarding the teleportation formation. Then, the members of the God-slaying team were teleported over. Everyone, wear your masks. The teleportation formation is the most important. Xue Ling, Ling Long, you two each lead a team to guard this place. Remember, safety is the most important. If you can't hold on, then destroy the teleportation formation and meet up with everyone in the direction of the City Lord's mansion. The rest of you, follow me. We'll kill our way to the City Lord's mansion. Night Sorrow gave the order to the team. He was worried that the team's escape route and that the people in the city would call for reinforcements, so he left 2 teams behind. The Tianji Tower team used a joint attack formation in group battles. They were all in groups of 5. Now, Night Sorrow left 2 stronger teams behind. Then, Night Sorrow led the team and rode on the flying demon beast in the direction of the City Lord's mansion. Yunhuang was more experienced. He kept lighting torches and throwing them out from time to time, setting the more important buildings in the city on fire. Brother Yun, you're very experienced in setting fires. Ho Jian said with a smile. I work with your captain more often. Some things just get easier after a while, Yunhuang said as he threw torches from time to time. Everyone saw that Yunhuang only lit the main buildings in the city, not the houses of the commoners. This meant that there was a bottom line when doing things. For example, the high-rise buildings where the city guards used crossbows to attack mounts belonged to the City Lord's mansion. Soon, the team arrived at the City Lord's mansion in the city. Ninth Senior Sister, take some people and surround this place. Kill anyone above rank 3 who resists. Yunhuang, take some people and kill them. Target the warehouse. Night Sorrow gave the order when he saw the old man flying out of the City Lord's mansion. Chapter 627. Genius remembers love in 1 second/small? I will provide you with interesting novels to read. That's right, I am Night Moon, Night Sorrow. It's time for you to pay your debt. Night Sorrow said coldly. You sure talk big. Then die. A battle blade appeared in the City Lord's hand as he executed spatial fetters and charged towards Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow waved his reincarnation spear and executed the 7-star brilliant moon spear art. He charged towards the City Lord and said, You are the one who will die. I am here to kill. Wang. The blade aura and spear light collided, causing an intense vibration. Night Sorrow was pushed back a distance. The City Lord was a peak 3rd-grade martial saint. His chi was much stronger than Night Sorrow's. Even though Night Sorrow's body was strong, they were not on the same level. Night Sorrow, who was pushed back, waved his reincarnation spear and charged forward again. The City Lord was very strong, but Night Sorrow felt that he could still fight. Night Sorrow was pushed back again and again. However, he was not injured and was not affected much. Night Sorrow's body was very strong and the City Lord was also in a tough spot. He planned to suppress Night Sorrow, but every time they collided, he would be pushed back a little. He was unable to suppress Night Sorrow. At this moment, the City Lord's mansion was on fire. Yang Lei and the rest were not to be trifled with. In just a short moment, the City Lord's guards were all killed. The god-slaying team also looted the treasury of the City Lord's mansion. Nan Liue also collected the resources. Night Sorrow and the City Lord were fighting, and the others could only watch. It's about time. Night Sorrow muttered softly. Night Sorrow, who was prepared, immediately threw out spatial fetters. Then, his bloodline ability erupted. He executed spatial rend and slashed towards the City Lord. At the same time, he followed behind the spatial rend and quickly approached the City Lord. The speed of the spatial rend was too fast. The City Lord wanted to retreat, but it was too late. He could only wave his battle blade and take it head-on. Crack. With a crisp sound, the black-robed City Lord's war blade was shattered by the energy of the space crack. At this moment, Night Sorrow's reincarnation spear had also arrived. The expression of the black-clothed City Lord changed greatly as he waved his hand to the side, intending to block Night Sorrow's reincarnation spear. At this moment, Night Sorrow's reincarnation spear was using the vibrating force. Along with a strong vibrating sound, the right arm of the black-clothed City Lord was shaken off by the reincarnation spear. However, Night Sorrow's reincarnation spear was also deflected by the black-clothed City Lord's move. After all, the energy levels of the two people's true chi were different, and the difference was very big. The reincarnation spear that had been deflected still pierced into the ribs of the black-clothed City Lord. Baidu search AI Go female sign Xiao say www.aichuxs. Koma's Night Sorrow's right arm moved horizontally. The City Lord's ribs were cut by Night Sorrow, leaving a deep wound. After heavily injuring the black-clothed City Lord with one move, Night Sorrow charged forward and struck out with the Hand of Desolation. Letting out a beastly roar, the black-clothed City Lord punched out. As the two people's arms approached each other, the black-clothed City Lord's fist showed signs of energy loss. Bang! The two people's palms collided with each other, producing a muffled sound. Night Sorrow stood still, but the black-clothed City Lord was pushed back very far. He was already heavily injured, and with the Hand of Desolation's time acceleration, the energy in his fist was depleted. Therefore, he was unable to withstand Night Sorrow's Hand of Desolation attack. At this moment, Night Sorrow raised his left hand again, and a sky-piercing spear pierced through the air, directly piercing through the black-clothed City Lord's throat. Charging forward again, Night Sorrow waved his right hand, and the reincarnation spear pierced through the black-clothed City Lord's chest. He continued to fly with the black-clothed City Lord, and then waved his arm on a wall of the City Lord's mansion that was not burned. A moment later, the words, "Night Moon, Night Sorrow, I'm coming," appeared again. With a shake of his arm, Night Sorrow flung the black-clothed City Lord's corpse away. At the same time, he also took the unlucky City Lord's storage ring. At this moment, Yang Lei picked up a long sword and shot it out, nailing the black-clothed City Lord's corpse to the wall. Did it go smoothly? Night Sorrow looked at the god-slaying squad gathered at the entrance of the city lord's mansion and asked. Captain, everything went smoothly, Ho Jian cupped his hands and said. The resources in the warehouse are in our hands. Nan Liue also took a step forward. Gather at the teleportation array. Night Sorrow waved his arm, and everyone got on their mounts. Riding on his mount, Night Sorrow looked at the group of people behind him and asked again, Is anyone injured? Can you continue to fight? No problem. The members of the god-slaying squad knocked on their breastplates and answered. That's good. Ma Shizhuang, Tang Tian, Chu Ning, the three of you take it easy. Don't be too rash. Get used to the speed of battle first, Night Sorrow said to Ma Shizhuang and the other two. He was most worried about these three people. 13th Martial Uncle, don't worry. We know what to do, Ma Shizhuang said. Captain, don't worry. These three guys are very smart. They are all experts at sneaking up on us. Even if we fall, they won't fall, Nan Liue said with a smile. That's good. Night Sorrow nodded with a smile. He was relieved that Ma Shizhuang and the other two knew how to fight. After getting on the teleportation array, Night Sorrow told Ho Qingjie to dismantle the teleportation array and return to the Taiqing region. Night Sorrow and the others then started the teleportation array. Because there was no direct teleportation array, the group of people went back and forth and arrived at this city called Dragon Whisker City. After killing the guards guarding the teleportation array, Night Sorrow left two teams behind. This time, Night Sorrow left behind Ho Jian and Lei Bao. Because they swapped, the problem of consumption was not obvious. 8 genuine first threes release after the group of people flew towards the center of the city. Ling Long and Yun Huang asked for torches and the two of them started the fire together. Everyone, be careful, Night Sorrow said. Night Sorrow, this city is easier to fight than the previous one. There's only one guy who just entered the venerable realm in the city lord's mansion. He's much weaker than the one you just killed, Yun Huang said. Caution is the parent of safety. Night Sorrow was still very cautious. When they arrived at the city lord's mansion, Yang Lei and Ling Long led their people to kill. Yun Huang's expression changed. Oh no, there's an expert here. When Yun Huang shouted, 2 old men flew out of the city lord's mansion. One was a level 1 venerable who had just entered the venerable realm, while the other had a cultivation that Night Sorrow could not see. Haha. I'm here to collect the harvest of resources, yet I encountered such a thing. It seems that I, Jin Sun, will be the one to do this. The old man in the golden robe laughed loudly. Night Sorrow, it's my fault. Yun Huang's expression was very ugly because he was responsible for the wrong information. This has nothing to do with you. Night Sorrow waved his hand. Yun Huang has let everyone down. Yun Huang looked at the group of people in the god-slaying team apologetically. Didn't you hear? He just arrived. What does it have to do with you? Fight. If we die in battle, we brothers will fight side by side in the next life. Ling Long waved her weapon and shouted. What will come will come. Control the nether wolves and block them. Kill one of them with all your might, Night Sorrow said to Yun Huang, who had come to his side. Yun Huang nodded and waved his arm. The roaring shadow energy behind him charged towards Jin Sun. Jin Ji, be careful. Jin Sun shouted. Chapter 628. Genius 1 second. Remember love divided by small? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. When Night Sorrow rushed forward, he used Space Rend and Soul Extinguishing Slash. He wanted to kill Jin Ji as fast as possible and then face Jin Sun. This way, the others would be safe. As the signature move of Night Moon Dynasty, the power of Space Rend was famous in the 9 regions. It was mainly because of its speed and high attributes, which made it very difficult to defend. Seeing Night Sorrow's Space Rend appear, Jin Ji's body flashed to dodge. He dodged to the side of Night Sorrow, mainly because he didn't want to face the simultaneous attacks of Night Sorrow and Yunhuang. Die. Night Sorrow controlled the soul extinguishing slash to change the attack route and directly slashed into Jin Ji's spirit sea. Jin Ji was hit by the soul extinguishing slash. Although his spirit sea didn't crack, he still suffered a serious injury. When he was absent-minded, Night Sorrow's reincarnation spear also cut his throat. This made Yunhuang's twin scimitars attack useless. 2 scimitars pierced through Jin Ji's corpse. Go help the others, kill quickly. Night Sorrow shouted to Yunhuang, turned around and rushed towards Jin Sun. At this time, Jin Sun was constantly attacking the ghost wolf. Although the ghost wolf was a soul body and was immune to most of the true chi attacks, it still suffered a lot of damage. Everyone move faster, the faster the better. Yunhuang shouted to the others. He knew that Night Sorrow could protect himself with the spacetime treasure pagoda, but he was worried that Jin Sun would attack the others. Baidu search AI go female sign Xiao say www.aichuxs. Com hearing Yunhuang's words, everyone fought even more fiercely. Yunhuang, who had taken Jin Ji's storage ring, also joined the battle. However, he still controlled the ghost wolf to assist Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow was under a lot of pressure. Although the ghost wolf was entangled, Jin Sun's attack was too overbearing. The pressure of the space rend was also great, suppressing Night Sorrow's speed. Jin Sun chased after Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow could only defend with all his might. Even so, he was bleeding from the corner of his mouth. The main reason was that Jin Sun's attacks were too violent, causing his internal organs to be shaken. While Night Sorrow was carrying Jin Sun, the others quickly washed the city lord's mansion with blood. All of you, retreat. Same old tactic, then return to the old place and wait for me. Night Sorrow shouted at the members of the god-slaying team who had just finished massacring the city lord's mansion. Captain, we won't leave. Exquisite shouted as she rushed up to attack Jin Sun. However, Jin Sun sent her flying with a single attack and she was slightly injured. Cut the crap and back off. This is an order. Night Sorrow roared in a low voice. He knew that the others would not be able to help him. Jin Sun's attack power was too high. Fortunately, Ling Long's cultivation was higher. If the others dared to approach her, they would be instantly killed. Seeing Night Sorrow lose his temper, the members of the god-slaying squad were stunned. They were worried about Night Sorrow's safety, but if they didn't, they would be disobeying orders. Everyone, back off. We have to believe in him. Yang Lei shouted. Following which, the members of the god-slaying squad retreated into the night, heading towards the teleportation array. Yunhuang also brought the injured ghost wolf with him. Worried about others? You should be worried about yourself. This lord has no interest in small fries. As long as I can kill you, it will be a great merit. Jin Sun looked at Night Sorrow, his eyes filled with brutality. It was not that he did not want to kill the members of the god-slaying squad, but he was worried that Night Sorrow would run away. In his eyes, Night Sorrow was the crucial big fish. Love go little say networku, if you want to kill me, then you'll have to show me your true abilities. Night Sorrow was under a lot of pressure. Fortunately, the Void Protective Shield had a strong effect on Jin Sun's spatial binding. He was able to dodge most of Jin Sun's attacks. Night Sorrow used the dragon soaring steps to move around in the air, tangling with Jin Sun. Right now, he wanted to stall for time so that Yunhuang and the members of the god-slaying squad could leave safely. After fighting for a while, Night Sorrow felt that Yunhuang and the members of the god-slaying squad should have left. He decided to give it a try. If he could win, then he would win. If he couldn't, then he would run. When he was pushed back again, Night Sorrow used the spatial rend. Then, he brandished his reincarnation spear and charged towards Jin Sun. At the same time, he stopped suppressing his void attribute true chi. Spear light burst out. At the same time, he communicated with Shao Kong and prepared to use his ultimate move. Jin Sun swung his longsword continuously. 3 ferocious sword chis neutralized the energy of Night Sorrow's spatial rend. However, at this time, the spear light from Night Sorrow's 7-star brilliant moon spear arrived in front of Jin Sun. Jin Sun no longer had the strength to use the longsword in his right hand to support his move. His left hand, covered in protective energy, punched towards Night Sorrow's reincarnation spear. Bang! With a muffled sound, Jin Sun's left hand shattered at the wrist. It was shattered by the void attribute true chi unleashed by Night Sorrow's reincarnation spear. This was the tyranny of the void energy. Most X New Chapter 6. Section, Previous. After crippling one of Jin Sun's hands, Night Sorrow controlled the space-time pagoda that had already appeared behind him and smashed towards Jin Sun. This was also Night Sorrow's most violent attack. Night Sorrow didn't use the soul-extinguishing slash because he knew that the gap between the two of them was too big. Jin Sun's soul defense must be very strong. The soul-extinguishing slash wouldn't be effective so easily. Therefore, he didn't use it. The space-time pagoda ascended and descended at an extremely fast speed. Even if Jin Sun wanted to retreat, it was too late. He could only swing his longsword with all his might to block the space-time pagoda's descent. Night Sorrow reached out with his left hand and grabbed the storage ring that Jin Sun was wearing on his left hand. Then, his body flashed as he charged towards Jin Sun, who was below the space-time pagoda. Suddenly, Jin Sun's longsword bounced off the ground. He then quickly retreated. As he did so, he coughed up a mouthful of blood. Although the space-time pagoda had not crushed him to the ground, it had still severely injured him. Night Sorrow controlled the space-time pagoda to stop at its original position. He then charged under the space-time pagoda. Once again, he executed the 7 stars dazzling moon spear technique, aiming for Jin Sun's chest. Damn it! The heavily injured Jin Sun bellowed. The long sword in his right hand fiercely swung, releasing a sword beam. Jin Sun's furious sword beam was extremely ferocious, sending Night Sorrow flying. The ferocious power of the sword beam caused Night Sorrow to cough up a mouthful of blood. Even his internal organs were shaken. However, Jin Sun was also unable to stop himself from being hit by Night Sorrow's spear light. He was also forced to retreat. Night Sorrow, who was coughing up blood, swung his left arm. He then controlled the space-time pagoda to smash at Jin Sun once more. Night Sorrow had no other choice. The difference between the two of them was simply too great. If he clashed with Shifeng head-on, he would definitely get injured. Even if he seized the opportunity to launch a vicious attack, it would not work. Seeing the space-time pagoda smashing towards him once more, Jin Sun felt like going mad. Before him, Night Sorrow was clearly an ant. Yet, when Night Sorrow jumped around, Jin Sun could not hold him back. Additionally, he could not endure the space-time pagoda's continuous attacks. Helpless, Jin Sun quickly turned and fled. He did not want to face the space-time pagoda's attacks. Seeing Jin Sun turn and leave, Night Sorrow's figure flashed and entered the space-time pagoda. Next, he controlled the space-time pagoda to shrink before quickly fleeing. Night Sorrow controlled the space-time pagoda to fly across the sky and away from the battlefield. After putting some distance between them, Night Sorrow controlled the space-time pagoda to hide. After Jin Sun escaped from the space-time pagoda's attack range, he felt that something was amiss. He had already injured Night Sorrow. Even if Jin Sun relied on his speed to fight, he could exhaust Night Sorrow to death. There was no need for him to run. Chapter 629. Genius remembers love in 1 second/small. We provide you with interesting novels to read. Jin Sun flew back and forth in the air, searching for Night Sorrow's whereabouts. However, after 2 rounds of searching, he found nothing. This made Jin Sun roar in anger. He was unwilling to give up. He had suffered too much this time. Dragon Whisker City's City Lord mansion and important buildings had been destroyed. The City Lord had been killed, and the city lord mansion's resources had been robbed. This made it impossible for him to answer to the upper echelons of the Golden Dragon King. Most importantly, Jin Sun's left hand had been shattered by Night Sorrow. The storage ring on his left hand contained the taxes of several cities. Now, he had lost all of it. Unable to find Night Sorrow, Jin Sun stood on the charred wall of the city lord mansion and pondered. He could feel his storage ring, but the vague feeling made him unable to determine the direction and location of the storage ring. This situation made Jin Sun understand that Night Sorrow had not gone too far. Instead, he was hiding. However, he did not have any clue. Night Sorrow meditated and healed while communicating with Shao Kong. Shao Kong told Night Sorrow that there was no situation outside and that he could leave at any time. However, she could control the space-time pagoda to escape for a short period of time. Flying for a long period of time required the support of her master's soul power. After an hour, Night Sorrow had almost recovered. His body was incomparably strong. Ordinary attacks could not hurt him. This time, he had been injured because Jin Sun's cultivation was too high. In addition, the medicine spirit's power was very strong. It had been helping Night Sorrow recover. After recovering, Night Sorrow planned to leave. He had no intention of killing Jin Sun. Other things aside, with the support of his profound cultivation, he could not do anything about Jin Sun's speed. As long as Jin Sun wanted to run, Night Sorrow could not do anything about it. At this moment, in an inn in Taiching City, the members of the god-slaying team looked worried. They were all worried about Night Sorrow's safety. Yunhuang, what's that guy's cultivation base? Yang Lei asked. It's probably a peak mid-level venerable. If it's a late-level venerable, Night Sorrow won't be able to withstand it. He'll be killed in an instant. Night Sorrow won't be able to defeat a mid-level venerable, but it won't be easy for him to escape either. The defense of the space-time pagoda is real, Yunhuang said. For now, all we can do is wait. Our luck is really bad this time, Linglong said. Above, New M Chapter Unspecified Currency D. Yunhuang regretted not taking out the soul-raising stone that Yun Tianlong had given him. Back then, under Night Sorrow's urging, everyone had retreated too quickly and he had not considered this problem. We have to believe in the captain, Ho Jian said. Do we need to inform Auntie Fei about this situation? Sikong Chuyu looked at Yang Lei and asked. There's no need. If Night Sorrow is fine, he's already on his way back. If something happens, it'll be too late for Auntie Fei to go, Yang Lei said softly. Night Sorrow sensed a strong wind outside. He controlled the space-time pagoda and left in the direction of the wind. After flying for 50 kilometers, Night Sorrow felt that his soul power was a little exhausted. He flashed out of the space-time pagoda and released Tianyu to fly out of the city. This range was not something that Jin Sun could detect, so it was absolutely safe. After flying out of Dragon Whisker City, Night Sorrow took out a map and looked at it. He then flew towards Swallow Flight City, which was the closest city with a teleportation array. Perhaps Jin Sun could also teleport to Golden Dragon City from Swallow Flight City, but Night Sorrow felt that the chances of encountering him were very low. Besides, he had always been wearing a mask. If he took it off, who would recognize him? After using 4 days, Night Sorrow arrived outside Swallow Flight City. He put away Tianyu, changed his clothes, and wiped his face. Night Sorrow then walked into the city. Under the interrogation of the city guards, Night Sorrow said that he was doing a mission at Tianji Tower. The city guards immediately let him go. Now, no faction was willing to provoke Tianji Tower. Tianji Tower was too scary when they were angry. The previous war was a good example. Night Sorrow called for a beast carriage and walked towards the teleportation array in the city center. He was very relaxed and did not feel like he was walking in the enemy's camp. 4 hours later, Night Sorrow arrived at the teleportation array. After getting out of the beast carriage, Night Sorrow was stunned for a moment. He saw Jin Sun. Jin Sun's left hand was wrapped in bandages and his face was cold. He was full of resentment. Jin Sun also saw Night Sorrow. Looking at Night Sorrow's relaxed smile, Jin Sun frowned. Then, he asked the guard guarding the teleportation array to start the teleportation. After Jin Sun left, Night Sorrow took the mid-grade spirit stone and started the teleportation. His destination was Zhongtong City. From Swallow Flight City to Tai Ching City, he needed to transfer once. Night Sorrow was not worried about his safety. Even if Jin Sun chased after him to Tai Ching City, he was not afraid. If they fought in Tai Ching City, he could still escape. If not, he could go to Tianji Tower. Would Jin Sun dare to chase after him? He could chase after him, but that would be suicide. When he arrived at Tai Ching City, Night Sorrow did not see Jin Sun chasing after him. Then, he left. When he arrived at Golden Dragon City, Jin Sun remembered what was wrong. Why did he feel that Night Sorrow was strange? It was because Night Sorrow's aura was the aura of the person who fought with him. Jin Sun quickly teleported back to Swallow Flight City. He took the token and asked the guard where Night Sorrow was teleporting. He quickly chased after him to Zhongtong City and asked again where Night Sorrow was teleporting. Jin Sun chased after him to Tai Ching City. But at this time, Night Sorrow had already left with Tianyu for a while. He could not even see his shadow. This situation made Jin Sun sigh. When he had inquired in Zhongtong City that Yi Shang had been teleported to Tai Ching City, he knew that the chances of catching Yi Shang were slim. The Tai Ching region was a chaotic place, and it was not a place where he, Jin Sun, could act presumptuously. In the inn, the group of people from the god-slaying team were like ants on a hot pan. Ho Qingjie and Lei Zheng, who were in charge of dismantling the teleportation array, had returned, but Night Sorrow had not. No, I can't wait anymore. One of you can go to Tianji Tower to report Night Sorrow's situation. I'm going to Dragon Whisker City. Yang Lei could not wait any longer. She could not wait for Night Sorrow to be in danger. She had to continue waiting. Ninth senior sister, this is not your problem alone. We have to think about what to do. Being rash and impulsive won't solve the problem. Nan Liue pulled Yang Lei back. He's back. At this time, Yin Huang walked out of the inn's door. His ghost wolf sensed Night Sorrow's aura. After putting away Tianyu, Night Sorrow tidied his robe and walked into the inn. You bastard, you worried us to death. Yang Lei went forward and punched Night Sorrow. Sikong Chuyu's eyes were also filled with tears. It's okay, I'm fine. Night Sorrow hugged Yang Lei and Sikong Chuyu. Then, he led everyone into the courtyard that they had booked in the inn. What was the result in the end? How did Captain escape? Ling Long asked excitedly. Seeing Night Sorrow escape safely from a mid-level venerable, Ling Long's curiosity was piqued. Chapter 630. Genius 1 second. Remember love divided by go divided by little? I'll provide you with interesting novels to read. Captain, you're too low-key. I know it's not that simple. Love go little say. Chu Exquisite glanced at Yi Shang and said. She knew that this was Yi Shang. He was not ostentatious, but when it came to touching matters, Yi Shang would say them like cold water. Translator, Endless Fantasy Translation Editor, Endless Fantasy Translation, haha. It's simple. We fought and scared him away, Night Sorrow said with a smile. This is the storage ring of that unlucky city lord. Yin Huang took out Jin Ji's storage ring and placed it in front of Night Sorrow. Yin Huang, what's wrong? You don't seem to be in a good mood. Night Sorrow looked at Yin Huang and asked. He felt that Yin Huang's mood wasn't right. Night Sorrow, it was my negligence this time. Also, I should have taken out my old man's soul-raising stone. It's not that I didn't want to, but it was too urgent at that time and I forgot, Yin Huang said to Night Sorrow. Just because of this? You're feeling down because of this? Let me ask you, do we need to rely on our ancestors? They can help us once, but how many times can they help us? It's more reliable to rely on ourselves. Besides, am I that weak? Night Sorrow said as he patted Yun Huang's shoulder heavily. All right. Hearing you say that, I feel a little more at ease, Yun Huang said. You can just give the storage ring to Liyue. Liyue, give Yun Huang the rewards according to the ratio. Night Sorrow threw the storage ring to Nan Liyue. Okay, actually I'm already prepared. Nan Liyue nodded and opened the storage ring. After organizing the resources, she took out a small bag of spirit stones and handed it to Yun Huang. Night Sorrow, this is boring. We're brothers. I fight for my brothers, not for resources. Yun Huang directly opened the bag of spirit stones that Nan Liyue handed over. Night Sorrow stood up and extended his hand toward Yun Huang. That's fine too. Now, I formally invite you to join our god-slaying squad. Do you want to join? Brother, if you say so, how can I not give you face? Besides, this group of brothers is not bad. Night Sorrow reached out and shook hands with Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow said to Nan Liyue, that's good. Let's rest here first. Liyue, help me look around and see if there are any suitable mansions. I'll buy one and set up a teleportation array there. Captain, I'm afraid that won't do. Our team has abundant medicinal pills and a lot of mid-grade spirit stones. However, we don't have enough high-grade spirit stones to buy a mansion in Taiching City. Love Go Little Say Kunan Liyue smiled bitterly. Yes, it costs a lot to buy a mansion in Taiching City. Without a few hundred high-grade spirit stones, you won't be able to get it. But I can pay some. Yun Huang said. Hee, Night Sorrow has no problem with this. He's a rich man. Buying a few mansions isn't a problem for him. Liyue, you just have to pick a good one. Pick one with a large area. Yang Lei said. Yes, don't worry about the price. Buy it and use it as a stronghold for the Night Moon Dynasty. Find one with a large area. Night Sorrow said. We don't lack money. There's nothing we can't do. Liyue and I will go later. Captain, can you tell us how you got away? Ling Long was still thinking about the battle between Night Sorrow and Jin Sun. I'm injured, but he suffered a bigger loss. I chopped off one of his hands and took his storage ring. However, I need to refine it slowly. His soul imprint is stronger. Night Sorrow took out Jin Sun's storage ring and said. Captain, you chopped off one of his hands? Ling Long asked in surprise. Yes, but I didn't have it easy either. His attacks damaged my internal organs. His left hand is gone, so I'm a little scared. I can't compare with him. His cultivation base is deep and he's fast. If he wants to fight, he can run. If he wants to run, he can run. I just took advantage of him and ran back. Are you satisfied with the details? Night Sorrow said with a smile. I regret it. If I knew that Captain could win, I wouldn't have run. Ling Long said regretfully. Let me emphasize this once. In the future, when we fight, you must obey my orders. If I say retreat, then retreat. If you have any more doubts, then I won't bring you into battle again. Yi Sorrow looked very seriously at the group of people as he spoke. Captain, it's not that we don't want to follow your orders. Back then, you were in too much danger. Ho Jian said. He couldn't kill me back then, right? But what would have happened if he had charged into our team? Would we have been wiped out? Night Sorrow looked at Ho Jian and roared. I understand. It won't be like this next time. Ho Jian nodded. I know you're doing this for my own good, but I'm the captain. I can't watch my brothers' lives be threatened. Night Sorrow sighed. In the future, we'll just follow orders. Shouldn't we drink to celebrate? Yun Huang said with a smile. Night Sorrow nodded. We have to drink. We leveled 2 city lord mansions. The results are good. We should have a lot of resources. Captain, these are teleportation crystals. Lei Zheng and Ho Qingjie stepped forward and handed 2 teleportation crystals to Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow took out 20 top-grade spirit stones. These 2 teleportation crystals are relatively small. They can only be used to create 2 copies. I'll give these resources to the team. Captain, it's not appropriate for you to do this. How many pills have you given to our brothers? At that time, everyone was using your pills for nothing. Captain, you need these teleportation crystals, but they're useless to us. Captain, just take them. Moreover, without you at the front, we wouldn't have been able to do such a thing. We wouldn't have been able to snatch the resources, Ho Jian said. Yes, Night Sorrow, you're not doing this. However, you're taking out 20 top-grade spirit stones just like that. Captain, you're not a fake. Why don't you take me in too? Ling Long said with a smile. Looking at Ling Long, Night Sorrow shook his head helplessly. You said that pretty boys aren't your cup of tea, but my face is paler. Today, I'll provide good wine. Let's drink. After that, Nan Liyue went to the inn to order some dishes and the group happily drank some wine. After drinking, Nan Liyue and Ling Long went to buy a mansion. Night Sorrow also returned to his room. Night Sorrow, you can't do this in the future. I'm so scared. After entering the room, Sikong Chuyu hugged Night Sorrow's waist and cried. She had been suppressing her emotions in front of others. Now, she couldn't suppress it anymore. That's right. You scared us to death this time, Yang Lei said. It's my fault. Chuyu, don't cry. Actually, you don't know the power of the space-time treasure pagoda. I'll show you. You won't have to worry about me in the future, Night Sorrow said as he patted Sikong Chuyu's back. Then, Night Sorrow showed Yang Lei and Sikong Chuyu how he entered the space-time treasure pagoda. You can do this? In other words, as long as the space-time treasure pagoda isn't refined, you'll be safe, right? Sikong Chuyu asked as she held Night Sorrow's hand. Yes, the space-time treasure pagoda is my treasure. How can others refine it? Night Sorrow said with a smile. Chapter 631. Genius remembers love in 1 second/small? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Yes, I'm imprisoned. They can slowly deal with me, but you can call for reinforcements, Night Sorrow said with a smile. In fact, Night Sorrow was not telling the truth. Saints could refine holy treasures. In the past, Jiyu Haitian did not touch the spacetime pagoda because he did not want to kill Shao Kong. Spirit treasures and holy treasures without artifact spirits would be much weaker. Actually, Jiyu Haitian's strength is not enough to refine me. I resisted for a while that time, and I didn't feel much pressure. Shao Kong's voice sounded in Night Sorrow's mind. So, ordinary saints can't hurt you? Night Sorrow asked. It's very difficult to refine me without high-level attributes. However, if they want to attack you in the pagoda, there are still ways. For example, soul attacks, law attacks, and so on. I'm saying this to remind you that the spacetime pagoda is not invincible unless your cultivation level increases and you can completely control it. Shao Kong and Night Sorrow conversed. Night Sorrow nodded. He understood that his own strength was the absolute truth. Why are you nodding? Yang Lei looked at Night Sorrow and asked. I'm talking to Shao Kong, Night Sorrow said with a smile. Yang Lei and Sikong Chuyu smiled at Night Sorrow. They felt at ease. They felt that with the spacetime pagoda protecting him, Night Sorrow's safety was not a problem. How's the soundproofing here? Night Sorrow looked at the two girls and asked with a smile. Are you going to do something naughty? Fortunately, the inn thought about this. The rooms here have soundproofing and detection arrays, Yang Lei said with a red face. Yes, I miss Ninth Senior Sister and Chuyu. Night Sorrow nodded and reached out to hug Yang Lei and Sikong Chuyu. Then Senior Sister will be satisfied. Yang Lei nodded. Sikong Chuyu blushed and didn't object. Night Sorrow used his arms to carry Yang Lei and Sikong Chuyu onto the bed. Then, he took off his robe and jumped onto the bed. At this time, the two women were very familiar with each other and did not care about each other's opinions. They were able to let themselves go. While cultivating and combining their cultivation methods, they also gave Night Sorrow all kinds of shocks and enjoyment. After tossing and turning for half a day, the three of them finally took a bath and began cultivating. As the sun set, the three of them walked out of the room. Nan Liue and Ling Long also came back. The two of them looked at the three larger mansions. There are so many mansions for sale in Taiching City now? Night Sorrow asked in surprise. He felt that a mansion shouldn't be easy to buy. He had spent a lot of effort to buy a mansion in Dongxian City. Then I'll tell you the truth. Two of them were originally the mansions of the core members of the Night Moon Dynasty. They were occupied by the Tianfeng Dynasty, but how can they live in peace? So the price is relatively low and they are in a hurry to sell it. Nan Liue said. Let me ask, the mansions used to belong to the Night Moon Dynasty. Can they get the official deeds? Night Sorrow's eyes were filled with anger. Sigh, if there's someone in the city lord's mansion, they can still get a new deed if they say that they lost it. Nan Liue said. Then what's the cultivation of the people who occupied the mansions? Night Sorrow exhaled and asked. They're all beginner venerables. It's probably because the old people of the Tianfeng dynasty aren't willing to live there. Because they don't feel comfortable living there, they rewarded the new members of the venerable realm. The Night Moon dynasty has revived and the entire Taiching city knows about it. So these two new venerables of the Tianfeng dynasty don't dare to live there and are in a hurry to sell it. Ling Long said and explained the situation in detail. Not only do I want the mansions, but I also want their lives. How about this, Yun Huang and Ling Long go to make the trade? I want to kill them. Night Sorrow directly said his plan. That's fine too. The manager of the first mansion is a skinny first-level venerable with a goatee. You can tell at a glance. The manager of the second mansion is a curly-haired man. You can tell at a glance that he's a descendant of a different race. Ling Long explained the situation of the two mansions. Let Ho Jian and the others make the trade. The ghost wolf has almost recovered. When the time comes, I can cooperate with you. That way, we can end the battle quickly. Yun Huang said. Night Sorrow nodded and called Ho Jian over. He told him his plan. Then, everyone discussed and waited for tomorrow to act. O a unique zero positive I version, plus its O is D steal the Ek version. Night Sorrow, Yang Lei, and Sikong Chuyu had a crazy night. In the morning, he practiced his spear art for a while. Ling Long, Nan Liue, Ho Jian, and Yun Huang went to Night Sorrow's place. Everything is ready. Let's set off. Night Sorrow said. Ho Jian, Ling Long, and Nan Liue were in the front. Night Sorrow, Yun Huang, Yang Lei, and Sikong Chuyu were behind. The two women had put on their veils. In the world of cultivators, there were some women who wore a veil. Ho Jian acted like a young master and signed a contract with the other party in a very generous manner. The deal was completed for 300 high-grade spirit stones. When the original owner of the mansion was sent out with two servants, Nan Liue, who was following behind, made a hand gesture, indicating that it was time to act. Night Sorrow and the others didn't act immediately. It wasn't good to be too close to the mansion. That would bring instability to the mansion. When the man with a goatee arrived on the street, Night Sorrow waved his hand. Yang Lei and Sikong Chuyu blocked his escape route. Yun Huang commanded the ghost wolf to block the man's escape route. Night Sorrow first used the soul-extinguishing slash. Then, he used the 7-star glorious moon spear. Elementary Supremes weren't Night Sorrow's opponent. With the interference of the ghost wolf, the man was killed by Night Sorrow's soul-extinguishing slash. His spirit sea was then split open. Night Sorrow rushed over and stabbed the man's forehead. The inside of the man's head was shattered. Then, he took the man's storage ring. They didn't kill the man and directly left. Too fast. All of this happened in a flash. By the time someone noticed, Night Sorrow and the others had already disappeared without a trace. After circling around, they met up with Ling Long, Nan Liyue, and Ho Jian at the newly bought mansion. This mansion can't be used for the time being. It will still be noticed. Also, don't buy the mansion that used to belong to the Night Moon dynasty. Liyue, go buy a few servants to take care of this place. Don't let our people come here. After that, go buy the mansion that has no problem. After thinking for a moment, Night Sorrow made the arrangements. The main reason was that he didn't want to be noticed. That would only bring trouble to himself. Okay. Captain, don't worry. Everything will be done today. Nan Liyue nodded. Then go and do it. After you're done, go to the inn and call everyone. We'll move there and see if it's safe. If it's safe, set up a teleportation array. It will be more convenient in the future. Night Sorrow threw the storage ring to Nan Liyue. Then, he left with the two girls and Yun Huang. Chapter 632. Genius 1 second. Remember love go divided by little? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. In the afternoon, Nan Liyue and Ling Long finished their business. They bought a large mansion not far from the Tianji Tower. It was about the same size as the Qingxin courtyard, but the price was more than twice. Fortunately, Night Sorrow's family was big and didn't lack spirit stones. Nan Liyue also returned the extra spirit stones to Night Sorrow. Baidu search AI Go female sign Xiao say www.aichuxs. Come in addition, Nan Liyue also bought a group of servants. She left some in the first mansion and brought the rest to the current one. Night Sorrow felt that this place still needed a butler. While eating, Night Sorrow mentioned this matter. This is simple. My uncle used to do business. Now that he's tired, he's resting at home. It's suitable for him to be the butler, Shuefei said. Then what are we waiting for? Once we're done eating, Shuefei, you run over and bring them here. Ling Long, you help me. It's not convenient for Shuefei to take the teleportation array by himself, Yishan said to Ling Long. Okay. I can take him to the eastern Xian region very quickly. I can take the strategic teleportation array directly. But I can't take it back. I won't take the strategic teleportation array with others, Ling Long said. She trusted her teammates, but she wouldn't trust someone she wasn't familiar with. Tianji Tower's strategic teleportation array was a very important secret. Don't worry. You guys can take your time. Thank you for your hard work, Night Sorrow said. After dinner, Ling Long and Shuefei set off for the eastern Xian region. Liyue, I'll leave the matters in the mansion to you. First, we need to build a stable small palace. I'll set up the teleportation array, Night Sorrow said to Nan Liyue. Nan Liyue nodded. She understood that Night Sorrow trusted her. Also, I'm going to be away for a while. Ho Jian, Shueling, I'll leave the god-slaying squad to you too. Yun Huang, since you've joined, you should be more serious. See if there's anything the others need help with. It might not be much to you, but it could be a life-saving opportunity for the others, Night Sorrow said, looking at Yun Huang. Since we're all brothers, there's nothing to say. Just go and come back quickly. Yun Huang nodded at Night Sorrow. Right now, he had acknowledged the god-slaying squad from the bottom of his heart. That won't be fast. I'm flying to Night Moon City. It won't be easy to set up a teleportation array back and forth, Night Sorrow said. After that, Night Sorrow drank a pot of tea with Yang Lei and Sikong Chuyu. Then, he rode Tianyu out of the Grand Clarity region and headed towards Night Moon City. The quality of a teleportation crystal, which was also a spatial crystal, determined the teleportation distance. Currently, Night Sorrow only had beginner spatial crystals. Teleportation arrays could not cross too far distances. Look at the original O, version D chapter 7 and section, L upper MW. There had to be a teleportation array between Grand Clarity City and Night Moon City. Night Sorrow could confirm the location. The main issue was safety. Setting up a teleportation array in the enemy camp was asking for trouble. It could also be easily destroyed in the wild. Therefore, Night Sorrow planned to listen to Yi Linglan and Yi Lingyuan's suggestions. After all, when it came to understanding the Night Moon Dynasty's territory, Night Sorrow was almost a noob. Riding Tianyu at full speed, Night Sorrow took more than 20 days to reach Night Moon City. When he arrived at Night Moon City, Night Sorrow called Yi Linglan and Yi Lingyuan over and told them about setting up a teleportation array. Young master, there's a suitable location for the teleportation array. Yuexiang City is very suitable. It's a relatively remote place. In the past, it was a sacred place for the Night Clan members to play. Because it's relatively hidden, it wasn't affected by the war, Yi Linglan said. Also, I can set up a few more teleportation arrays. Now let's see which one needs to be connected to Night Moon City, Night Sorrow said. Night Sorrow had quite a few teleportation crystals. He already had 7 of them. Currently, the cities that need to be restored are Wuyo City and Wumo City. Don't set up the other cities for now. If we get ambushed, we'll suffer heavy losses, Yi Linglan said. Alright. After setting up the teleportation arrays in Night Moon City, Wuyo City, and Wumo City, we'll go to Yuexiang City, Night Sorrow said. Then, Yi Lingyuan went to arrange the construction of the teleportation hall. No matter which faction it was, teleportation arrays were the most important. Night Sorrow and the others also attacked the teleportation arrays first. That way, no matter whether they advanced or retreated, they wouldn't have to worry about the enemy calling for reinforcements. After communicating with Yi Linglan, Shi Feng returned to his mansion to rest. 2 days later, Yi Linglan and Yi Lingyuan arrived at Night Sorrow's mansion. Young master, the teleportation hall has been completed. Alright, we'll set it up now. This way, transportation will be more convenient, and the reconstruction of Night Moon City will be faster, Night Sorrow said as he stood up. Then, Night Sorrow set up the teleportation array in the new hall in the center of Night Moon City. He used the largest teleportation crystal in Night Sorrow's possession. Night Sorrow had split this teleportation crystal into 3 parts. In other words, it could connect to Wuyo City, Wumo City, and Yuexiang City. Currently, we don't have a large teleportation crystal. This is the only way. Night Sorrow sighed. After all, a large teleportation crystal was too rare. After setting up the teleportation crystal, Night Sorrow took out the teleportation crystals that he planned to use in Wuyo City and Wumo City. Chapter 633. Genius 1 second. Remember love go/little. We provide you with exciting novels to read. Night Sorrow felt that time was tight because he still had to deal with the other dynasties. Only by causing them endless trouble would they have no time to cause trouble for Night Moon City. It was true that there were troops from the Yun dynasty stationed outside the Night Moon dynasty, and they also had Yun Tianlong's ruler's token. However, these dynasties had no bottom line. Who knew if they would make a move secretly? This was also the problem that Yi Shang was worried about. There were also supremacies in Night Moon City, but they were all beginner supremacies. As long as the other party sent a high-level supremacies, the managers of Night Moon City would all be slaughtered. The 3 teleportation arrays in Night Moon City were set up. Night Sorrow rode Tianyu and Yi Linglan to Yuexiang City. As for Yi Lingyuan, he had to stay behind to preside over the situation. Now that more and more Yi clan members were returning, he had to make arrangements. Yi Linglan was a supremacy, so his speed was faster than Night Sorrow's riding Tianyu. Therefore, they didn't waste much time and arrived at Yuexiang City in 10 days. Yuexiang City was in the middle of the wilderness and didn't interact with anyone outside. It also wasn't affected by the flames of war. It was considered a rare paradise left behind after the war. The people who lived here were all Yi clan members. The city lord was a thin old man who seemed to have experienced the vicissitudes of life. His name was Yilingnan, and he was from the same generation as Yilinglan. However, he was also from a side branch. Baidu search love go xiao shua www.aichux. After listening to Yilinglan's introduction, Yilingnan bowed to Night Sorrow. When we found out about what happened back then, the war had already ended. Also, we don't have any supremacies here, so we can only live an ignoble life. We can't take revenge. Please forgive us, young master. Senior, you're thinking too much. I'm from Night Moon, and I'm just doing my best for Night Moon. Right now, we're planning to build a teleportation formation here to connect Tai Ching City and Night Moon City. Night Sorrow explained his intentions. This is the only pure land left in the Night Moon Empire. If we set up a teleportation array here, the flames of war could easily reach this place. Yilingnan hesitated for a moment before speaking. He was very worried that Yuexiang City would be dragged into the war. Night Sorrow sighed. He could understand Yilingnan's worries, but he was still a little disappointed. Elder Linglan, are there any other choices? Or we can choose the wilderness and mobilize the guards from Night Moon City to guard it. You're very disappointing, young master. Then I'll place you in the wilderness. Yilinglan glanced at Yilingnan, feeling a little dissatisfied. He knew that Night Sorrow was disappointed at this moment. Night Sorrow turned around and walked out of Yuexiang City. After taking a few steps, Night Sorrow turned his head back. The people of Night Moon are all strong. There are only souls who died in battle. There are no people who are afraid of death. Looking at Night Sorrow's back, Yilingnan wanted to say something. However, before he could say anything, Night Sorrow rode on Tianyu and Yilinglan and left. They don't deserve to be from Night Moon, Yilinglan, who was flying beside Night Sorrow, said. It's nothing. Everyone has their own ambitions. However, if Night Moon continues to be glorious, it has nothing to do with them. Night Sorrow was very calm at this moment. He wasn't angry at all. After that, Night Sorrow and Yilinglan found a relatively safe canyon in the wilderness. At the end of the canyon was a very large cave. The cave was made of green rocks and was very clean and tidy. The main canyon was at the peak of a mountain. Not far from here was a large lake. The scenery around the mountain peak was very beautiful. It was also very suitable for defense. This place is not bad. We can even build a small city around it. In terms of style, it's not inferior to Yuexiang City. In fact, it's much better than Yuexiang City, Night Sorrow said. Indeed, this place is not bad. There are lakes and rivers around the mountain peak. After the teleportation portal is built, I'll go back and bring people here to build it. Yilinglan also felt that this current stronghold was not bad. Alright, the construction is almost done. Our god-slaying squad can also set up camp here. It's just a matter of teleporting once. It's not very troublesome. Night Sorrow felt that this place could be a good small city after some construction. It could be the base of the god-slaying squad. Then, Night Sorrow set up a teleportation portal in the cave at the end of the canyon. After the teleportation portal was completed, Night Sorrow embedded a clone of Night Moon City's teleportation portal. Elder Linglan, you can teleport to Night Moon City now. Elder, bring this clone over and insert it into the card slot of Night Moon City's teleportation portal. Then, you can teleport to each other. Elder, bring more people here and build this place. Here are some mid-grade spirit stones. Night Sorrow handed over the teleportation portal to Yilinglan and took out a storage belt. Ah. Young master, you've been tired. How about this, young master, you stay here and guard. I'll come over later. Yilinglan didn't argue. He took the teleportation portal and the storage belt. He had been cultivating bitterly all these years. He didn't have much wealth, so he didn't have any spirit stones to teleport. After Yilinglan left, Night Sorrow sat at the entrance of the cave. He took out a jar of wine and slowly drank. He knew that this place was no longer an ordinary canyon. If Night Moon City rose again, this place would become a very important place. It would no longer be as desolate as it was now. 2 hours later, Yi Linglan appeared with a group of guards. There were also many workers who were slowly teleporting over. Elder Night Sorrow, I won't care about the matters here. I'm going to Night Moon City to set up the teleportation portal. Night Sorrow walked to the edge of the teleportation portal and inserted a teleportation crystal into it. Okay, young master, don't worry about Night Moon City. There won't be any problems. Yi Linglan nodded. When this teleportation crystal shines, you can teleport to Tai Ching City. Night Sorrow said. He realized that he had made a mistake this time. If Night Sorrow had set up a teleportation formation in his mansion in the Grand Clarity domain and brought his avatar here, he could have teleported back immediately without having to travel for more than 10 days. After explaining, Night Sorrow rode on Tianyu and left. The mission this time was completed perfectly, so he could return to Tai Ching City. As long as he set up the teleportation array in Tai Ching City, he could go to Tai Ching City to exchange for various resources on Night Moon City. Only, and one, official E version. Square root, it's D he underscore are all E, pirated B version caret underscore, sitting on Tianyu's back, Night Sorrow began his cultivation. The improvement of his true chi cultivation base was relatively slow. During this period of time, Night Sorrow had been working very hard. However, he had only reached the mid-void inquiry stage. After sensing the void Dao stone on his waist, Night Sorrow discovered that the human figure inside had already grown to the size of a human head. It was still absorbing the energy of the void Dao stone to improve itself. Satisfied with the progress of the void Dao stone, Night Sorrow continued to meditate and cultivate. His main focus was on the power of his soul and the power of his bloodline. His true chi cultivation base needed to be improved steadily. He was cultivating the Myriad Dao treasure book with the crystal of the profound turtle. When they set up camp again, the silver fox entered seclusion. Night Sorrow had been paying attention to the cultivation of Tianyu and the silver fox. He would definitely not keep them in his beast-taming space if he didn't have to. Tianyu and the silver fox's cultivation base also improved rapidly. The silver fox was currently trying to break through to the 9th level of the spirit severing stage. Looking at Tianyu, Night Sorrow discovered that Tianyu was not far away from the 8th level of the void inquiry stage. Looking at the silver fox breaking through quietly, Night Sorrow asked Tianyu to be on guard while he continued to meditate and cultivate. Night Sorrow felt a little pressured by Ji Yuhao's formidable combat power. The attribute of time was too strong. It was very difficult for Night Sorrow to fight against him without breaking through to the venerable realm. Even if he did, it would be very difficult for him to defeat Ji Yuhao. Chapter 634. Genius remembers love in 1 second/small. We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Night Sorrow cultivated for a whole night. Silver Fox also successfully entered the peak of the spirit severing stage. He brought Silver Fox to Tianyu's back and continued their journey. Yi Shang cultivated as he hurried back. It took him 10 days to return to his residence in Supreme Clarity City. A special attic had been built in the mansion. It looked like an ordinary attic, but it was absolutely sturdy. Even a beginner honorable could not break it. After Night Sorrow entered, he set up a teleportation formation and placed the teleportation crystal in the canyon on top. When the teleportation crystal in the slot lit up, Night Sorrow knew it was done. Then Night Sorrow set up a few illusion formations outside the attic. If someone barged in, they would get lost. Did it go well? Yang Lei looked at Night Sorrow and asked. Very well. We can teleport to Night Moon City at any time. In addition, we plan to build a small city in the middle. I've decided to move our base there, Night Sorrow said. Okay, we'll go there later, Ho Jian said. Yi Shang, you don't know, but the value of your head is heaven-defying. Several dynasties have placed a bounty on your head. Anyone who obtains your head will be rewarded with a spiritual artifact grade weapon, a set of spiritual artifact armor, 30 supreme-grade spirit stones, and 30 drops of spiritual essence liquid. Ling Long smiled at Yishang. Want me? They're quite ruthless. But it doesn't matter. If they're not wanted, they'll risk their lives. If they're wanted, they'll risk their lives. We'll deal with them later. Night Sorrow did not care about their bounty because it was the same whether they were wanted or not. Then Xue Ling and Xue Fei brought an old man. The old man was Xue Fei's uncle, Tan Dong. Xue Fei's surname was Tan, and Xue Fei was a code name. Young master. Tan Dong bowed to Night Sorrow. You don't have to be like this. Just call me Night Sorrow. Since you're Xue Fei's uncle, I'll call you Uncle Tan. Uncle Tan will take care of this mansion in the future. Night Sorrow helped Tan Dong up. Okay, young Master Yi, don't worry. Tan Dong's attitude was still very humble. Uncle Tan is not a servant. We asked him to help us. Later, we have to explain it to everyone in the mansion, Night Sorrow said to Nan Liyue. Everyone had a drink together. When they returned to their rooms to rest, Night Sorrow thought for a while and made a few small magic treasures called the Yin-Yang Thunder Array. It was an array diagram carved on a special thunder attribute mineral. It was a mechanism. As long as the Yang Thunder was crushed, the Yin Thunder would explode within 200 feet. Night Sorrow made a total of 3 pairs. He called Nan Liyue, Tan Dong, and Xue Ling to the attic where the teleportation array was. I made 3 pairs of Yin-Yang Thunder Array. It's not very powerful, but it can destroy the teleportation crystal in the card slot. If we're attacked here and can't withstand it, we'll have to destroy the teleportation crystal in the card slot. This will protect the next teleportation point. Then, Night Sorrow gave 3 Yang Thunder Array tokens to Tan Dong, Nan Liyue, and Xue Ling. Then, he hid 3 Yin Thunder in the teleportation array. Thank you for your trust, young Master Yi. Tan Dong bowed to Night Sorrow. It's nothing. Sometimes when we're not around, Uncle Tan has to worry about the safety of this place, said Night Sorrow. After the arrangements were made, Night Sorrow returned to a pavilion in the corner of the mansion. Over the past few days, Sikong Chuyu, Yang Lei, Nan Liyue, and the others had hired craftsmen to clean up the mansion. The mansion was now very stylish and charming. Night Sorrow took out some spirit stones and placed them on the walls and around the loft. He set up a sound isolation and detection array formation. GQNT is the only 5 normal W version 4Z, the other square root he is all Z, alright. This time, there was no problem. Yishan clapped his hands and said, Baidu search love go xiao say www.aichux.com, it won't be good if the other brothers see what you're doing. Sikong Chuyu blushed. I'm being very careful. I don't want others to find out. Night Sorrow said with a smile. So the array formation you're cultivating has such a use. I really have to hand it to you. Yang Lei said as she patted Night Sorrow's shoulder. There has to be some privacy, right? As everyone's cultivation increases, it'll be impossible for them not to notice with a sweep of their soul force. That's why this array formation is necessary. Alright, let's begin. Night Sorrow stretched out his hand and threw Sikong Chuyu, who was close to him, onto the bed. Then, he pushed Yang Lei to the corner of the bed and quickly took off his robes. He also undid Yang Lei's skirt and directly pulled it off. I'm not done taking off my clothes. Yang Lei said as she touched the skirt on her upper body. That's good. Night Sorrow lifted Yang Lei's jade-like leg that was still outside the bed and controlled his divine artifact to rush towards the harbor. What's the change again? Are you trying to kill me? Being invaded by Night Sorrow, Yang Lei's upper body rose and hugged Night Sorrow's neck, enduring the impact of Night Sorrow. It's just a little Yang dragon wine. It should be fine. Night Sorrow pushed Yang Lei onto the bed again. Falling flowers willingly follow the flowing water. Who says the flowing water has no heart for falling flowers? Although Night Sorrow was often running around outside, his heart was always filled with Yang Lei and Sikong Chuyu. Yang Lei was tired. Next was Sikong Chuyu. After a night of entanglement, they also didn't sleep. However, the three of them were in good condition. Night sorrow cultivated his body. Recently, he had been drinking Yang Dragon wine frequently. Although he had absorbed blood energy, his Yang energy was also too abundant. He also needed to live like this. Yang Lei and Sikong Chuyu cultivated the fusion technique. Night sorrow's body was filled with blood energy and Yang energy. It was very beneficial for the two girls' cultivation. After washing up, Night Sorrow went to the courtyard to cultivate his spear arts. Night Sorrow was currently cultivating his spear arts to cultivate his senses. He had reached the state of one with the spear. The spear was a part of his body. However, in Night Sorrow's heart, the spear wasn't just a part of his body. It was also an indispensable part of his life. Night Sorrow cultivated his spear arts, while Yang Lei and Yang Lei cultivated their sword arts. They cultivated the state of one with the sword. Their realms weren't high enough. When they raised their cultivation, they also needed to raise their realms. In addition, they also needed to raise their combat strength. After cultivating for a while, Yang Lei and Sikong Chuyu began to spar. Now, the two's cultivation and combat strength were about the same. They could both fight above their realms. They were definitely not flower vases. This was publicly acknowledged in the god-slaying squad. Before Yun Huang joined the squad, other than Night Sorrow and Ling Long, Yang Lei and Sikong Chiyu's combat strength were the strongest. Night Sorrow remembered that he still had a lightning-attributed crystal that contained the purple flame thunder attribute. After taking it out, he threw it to Yang Lei, who had just finished her cultivation. This is good. It can increase the power of my purple flame thunder attribute, Yang Lei said with a smile. Alright, I'll go look for Yun Huang. We'll go investigate 2 more targets and kill them 2 more times. After that, we'll go to the place I told you about to rest. Night Sorrow led the 2 girls to the center of the mansion. At this moment, Yun Huang, Ling Long, and several other members of the god-slaying squad were drinking tea in the main hall of the mansion. Night Sorrow, I should call you captain now. I plan to investigate a few more targets. What do you think? Yun Huang said. Chapter 635. Genius 1 second. Remember love go divided by Shao. We provide you with wonderful novels to read. What do you think? Yun Huang asked. Baidu search love go female sign Shao Shua www.aichux.com. They're not stupid. They won't send a large number of soldiers to guard the city. They'll only send high-level venerables to hide in key places and attack at critical moments. Their target should be me, so I'll go attack the city lord's mansion. You guys clean up the periphery. I'll let Tianyu give the order to attack and retreat. Night Sorrow spoke his mind. That's good too. It'll be safer. After all, our team members still can't face a venerable's attack. If a venerable pounces on us, we'll suffer heavy losses. Yun Huang nodded. Yun Huang then drank a cup of tea and went to work. He was in high spirits now, mainly because he had a strong fighting spirit in his blood. He liked this kind of challenge. With nothing to do, Night Sorrow went to the transfer teleportation formation. When Night Sorrow appeared, Yi Ling Lan was busy with construction with Night Moon City's craftsmen. Elder, the amount of work here is huge. Night Sorrow looked at the scene and said. The scenery here is beautiful, and there's a teleportation formation. It'll be a waste if we don't build it. It'll be a good place to cultivate in the future. Yi Ling Lan said with a smile. He had already drawn the blueprint. He wanted to build this place even better than Yuexiang City. Alright, if you lack anything, you can go directly to Taiching City to exchange for it. However, we still need people to guard there. Our people need to be marked so that the guards won't have a hard time identifying them. Elder, why don't you send 2 people to guard there? Night Sorrow asked Yi Lan. All right, I'll arrange for 2 capable men to go over later, Yi Lan said. We need a name for this place. It's inconvenient without a name. Night Sorrow said. Although this place looks flat, it's actually the peak of a mountain. Why don't we call it Sky City? Yi Lan suggested. Baidu search love go female sign xiao shua www.aichux.com, sure. Although it's only a little more than 200 square kilometers, it's still pretty good after construction. Let's call it the city in the sky. Night Sorrow was very satisfied with the name. We've brought quite a few craftsmen with us. I estimate that it'll be ready in half a year. Yi Lan walked around with Night Sorrow. Beautiful. It was very beautiful. On one side of the mountain peak was a large lake that stretched as far as the eye could see. Looking out from the other sides, it was also a stretch of lush greenery. In the future, when the war is over, young master can cultivate here and cultivate his mind and soul, Yi Lan said with a smile. Haha. Not bad. Let's build it like this. First, we'll build a training ground. I have a team over there that will be stationed here in the future, Night Sorrow instructed. After chatting with Yi Lan for a while, Night Sorrow gave Yi Lan a storage ring which contained some mid-grade and high-grade spirit stones. Yi Lan didn't hold back. He felt that Night Sorrow was the young master of Night Moon. Night Moon belonged to Night Sorrow, so these resources weren't much. Then, Night Sorrow brought Yi Lan to the Tai Ching region and to his residence. Night Sorrow introduced Yi Lan to everyone. After staying for a while, Yi Lan went out on the streets. Night Moon was currently recovering. The city in the sky was also under construction and required a lot of resources. He had to exchange spirit stones for resources. Yi Lan only returned at night. He bought a lot of things and told Night Sorrow that he would bring the guards over tomorrow before leaving. Night Sorrow cultivated while waiting for Yunhuang's news. As for Yunhuang's safety, Night Sorrow wasn't worried at all. Before Yunhuang went to battle, the other dynasties wouldn't dare to act recklessly. Yunhuang was Yun Tianlong's baby. The consequences of attacking Yunhuang for no reason would be severe. Of course, Yunhuang also didn't want to show off his background. For days had passed, and Yunhuang returned. He had scouted 2 targets, both of which were cities of the 7 Stars dynasty. This time, he had learned his lesson and scouted very carefully. As long as he could discover or sense that there was a battle in the city Lord Manor, he had scouted it. After making sure that there were no unstable factors, he came back to report. He had chosen the 7-Star dynasty because the 7-Star dynasty had not only participated in the matter of Night Sorrow, but they had also offered a very high price. This made Yunhuang very angry, so he had set his target on the 7-Star dynasty. Night Sorrow gathered his men and took the Tai Ching city's teleportation array to the 7-Star dynasty's Sky Tiger City. After exiting the teleportation array, Night Sorrow, Yunhuang, Ling Long, Sikong Chuyu, and Yang Lei took the lead and killed all the guards of the teleportation array. Then, the members of the god-slaying team all teleported over. Yunhuang, you're familiar with the terrain. From now on, you'll lead the team into battle. I'll go to the City Lord's mansion. If you hear my whistle, go to the City Lord's mansion and kill. If I don't hear it in 5 minutes, everyone will retreat, Night Sorrow instructed. After giving his instructions, Night Sorrow rode Tianyu toward the City Lord's mansion. 6 Yonk Jojo Free I Look Xiao 0 said ZAs for the ballistae on the city's high-rise buildings. Night Sorrow ignored them. Tianyu was very fast. Before the enemy could react, Night Sorrow, who was standing on Tianyu's back, had already flown over. Yunhuang and the others started to kill from behind. They were also constantly setting fire to the City Lord's mansion. Actually, the focus of the attack was still the City Lord's mansion. Night Sorrow was the vanguard. If there was danger, everyone would stay away. This way, they could retreat more easily. When Night Sorrow arrived at the City Lord's mansion, he threw torches filled with kerosene into the city lord's mansion and started to set fire to it. As for the city lord's mansion's guards, Night Sorrow basically ignored them. Tianyu flapped his wings and sent some flying with his earth energy. They couldn't threaten Night Sorrow at all. Night Sorrow threw out a few torches. The experts in the city lord's mansion rose into the air. The leader was a second-level supremacy. You're Night Sorrow? The city lord of Sky Tiger City was a second-level supremacy. He was a young man wearing a gray robe. He looked at Night Sorrow, who was wearing a green mask, and shouted. You can't even recognize me when I'm right in front of you. Why are you looking for me? I don't know why you're looking for me. Stop talking nonsense and let's fight. Night Sorrow's body flashed. He stood in the air and faced the gray-robed man. Tianyu also started to fight. He kept attacking the guards on the ground. These guards were the ones who fired their crossbows at him. How could Tianyu tolerate this? As for the Silver Fox, Night Sorrow felt that it wasn't suitable to participate in this kind of battle, so he didn't let it out. You're really brave. I heard that you can fight against a supremacy. Even the Golden Dragon King Dynasty's 6th-level supremacy, Jin Sun, was injured. I, Star Tiger, will give it a try today. After speaking, the city lord of Sky Tiger City, Star Tiger, charged at Night Sorrow. He held a broadsword in his hand and slashed at Night Sorrow's head. Night Sorrow wasn't afraid of a second-level supremacy at all. After a protective barrier covered his body, he thrust his reincarnation spear at Star Tiger. Ding! With a crisp sound, Night Sorrow and Star Tiger separated. Night Sorrow retreated a little more. Night Sorrow felt that he was strong enough, but Star Tiger was also very strong. Chapter 636. Genius remembers love in 1 second/small. We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Night Sorrow didn't know what kind of technique the 7 stars mixed yuan technique was. However, this Star Tiger's strength was indeed incomparably strong and was on par with him. Star Tiger was also very shocked. He was able to repel Night Sorrow because of his strong true chi cultivation. There's no point in talking too much. Let's fight. Night Sorrow took a deep breath and said. Star Tiger roared and charged towards Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow also channeled the energy of the myriad Tao Tome into his body. Since they were going to compete in strength, Night Sorrow decided to go all out. In this aspect, Night Sorrow wasn't afraid of anyone. Following that, the sound of a head-on collision could be heard. Night Sorrow relied on the energy of the myriad Tao Tome and didn't fall into a disadvantageous position. Star Tiger relied on his true chi cultivation to make up for the difference between his body and Night Sorrow's. Sensing that there wouldn't be any experts coming, Night Sorrow let out a long whistle and shouted for the others to attack Sky Tiger City. Awesome! Star Tiger roared as he fought Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow didn't use any ultimate moves because Star Tiger also didn't use any combat techniques. He was just relying on his strength and true chi to fight Night Sorrow. Soon after, Yun Huang and the others came over and started fighting with the city lord's troops. You're still calling for reinforcements? Are you planning to gang up on us? Star Tiger shouted as he fought Night Sorrow. Not really. I won't let them interfere in a battle between men. Night Sorrow shouted back. Well said. Come on. Let's see who's more ruthless between the two of us. Star Tiger roared as he fought Night Sorrow head-on. Since your true chi is strong, I'll have to use something else. Night Sorrow's reincarnation spear trembled as he displayed the Spiral Force, Oscillation Sutra, and Wave Force. These 3 types of energy exertion techniques were constantly changing. As soon as Night Sorrow used his energy exertion technique, Star Tiger couldn't hold on any longer. His attacks were either deflected by the Spiral Force or the Shock Force. Star Tiger also used his battle technique. His energy exertion technique was the Explosive Force, but it didn't affect Night Sorrow much. After more than 10 rounds, Star Tiger retreated and landed on a building beside the city lord's mansion. Stop. Not fighting? Night Sorrow was stunned. You, more? New, fastest CONYL, I have combat skills, and so do you. Since we can't fight, why should I fight? Don't kill anymore. If you don't kill, you can rob and I'll just watch. Don't even think about killing me. If I want to leave, you won't be able to stop me. Star Tiger hugged his broadsword and watched as Yun Huang and the others set fire and looted. Night Sorrow looked at Star Tiger and felt that he was different. If he didn't fight, Night Sorrow couldn't use the spatial Ren to kill because that wasn't like a man. The god-slaying team quickly looted the city lord's mansion and even set it on fire. Hurry up and leave. I can't beat you, so I'll just watch you burn the city lord's mansion. Don't go anywhere else. Otherwise, I won't talk about martial arts ethics. Star Tiger shouted when he saw the god-slaying team coming out of the city lord's mansion. Good. Be a man. Let's go. Night Sorrow said and left with the god-slaying team. Captain, what's up with this guy? Ho Jian, who was next to Night Sorrow, asked. This city lord called Star Tiger is insistent. He doesn't want to do anything that will embarrass the Venerables. He fought with me and knew he couldn't defeat me, so he chose to let go, Night Sorrow said. Star Tiger. This guy is called Star Tiger? Ling Long asked. Yes, why? Night Sorrow looked at Ling Long and asked. He's the most outstanding genius of the 7-star dynasty. He entered the Venerable Realm before the age of 40 and is a direct descendant of the 7-star dynasty's monarch. He was born with extraordinary strength and has cultivated the 7-star dynasty's 7-star origin technique to the extreme, Ling Long said. I didn't expect him to be so famous, Yang Lei said. Yes, this guy is also from Tianji Tower. Actually, this is a pretty good outcome, Ling Long said. He's from Tianji Tower. Fortunately, he still has some perseverance. Otherwise, we would have killed him to avoid embarrassing ourselves, Yun Huang said. When they arrived at the teleportation portal, the group planned to go to their second destination, the Tanlang city of the Star Dynasty. This time, I won't stay to destroy the teleportation portal again, right? Ho Qingjie said reluctantly. Don't go overboard. We won't destroy this place anymore. Let's go to the next city. Night Sorrow made the decision. Star Tiger was like a man. Night Sorrow felt that there was no need to embarrass him too much. Besides, he was from Tianji Tower. The guards of the teleportation portal were all killed. No one knew where they were teleported to. City Lord, what should we do? The guards in the City Lord's mansion who were not killed looked at Star Tiger and asked. What do you mean, what should we do? Pack up. I'll go back and report later. We can't win. The City Lord's mansion was burned and robbed. What can we do? If we can't win, why do we have to fight to the death? Then all of you, including me, will be dead. That's it. If anyone in the dynasty wants to pursue the matter, tell them to come to me, Star Tiger said as he glanced at the burned City Lord's mansion. Star Tiger had his own persistence, and this was also his warrior's heart. It could even be said that he was somewhat inflexible, but in fact, he was just not good at expressing himself. There were some things that he could easily see the essence of. For example, in his battle with Night Sorrow, he couldn't take him down without using any battle techniques, and it was even more impossible to use his ultimate skill. Night Sorrow relied on battle techniques to survive, and this was the foundation of fighting above his level, so he didn't go all out. Besides, Night Sorrow and the others had a bottom line. Therefore, not many guards of the City Lord's mansion were killed. Night Sorrow and the others teleported to Tanlang City and continued to kill. This time, Yi Shang and the others had killed them thoroughly and smoothly. Night Sorrow killed the City Lord, who was a level 3 supremacy. The god-slaying team also looted the City Lord's mansion and burned the buildings that belonged to the City Lord's mansion. Night Sorrow also left words on the wall of the city lord's mansion. In addition to the previous 7 words, there was an additional sentence. That was, arrest at will. The battle had only just begun. After the group retreated, Ho Jian and Lei Bao stayed behind to dismantle the teleportation formation. After returning to Taiching City smoothly, Night Sorrow asked everyone to rest. After taking care of 2 cities of the 7-star dynasty, they shouldn't act recklessly, Yang Lei said as she brewed a pot of tea after returning to the attic in the corner of the mansion. Actually, it's mainly because the Yun clan dynasty helped us. If it wasn't for their interference, they would have directly gone to Night Moon City to cause trouble and neutralize this move of ours, Night Sorrow said. Yes. What we lack is still strength. How far are you from the Supremacy Realm? Sikong Chiyu looked at Night Sorrow and asked. The amount of true chi needed to cultivate to the peak of Void Inquiry stage is too great. I still need to stabilize my cultivation base. That's why I'm slow. I'll continue to refine Jin Sun's storage ring tonight. Night Sorrow took out Jin Sun's storage ring and said. Chapter 637. Genius remembers love in 1 second/small. We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Night Sorrow's soul power was very strong, but it was not much stronger than Jin Sun's soul power. A few days ago, Night Sorrow tried twice, but he felt that it would take some time, so he did not deal with it. Now that everything was fine, Night Sorrow decided to spend some time and directly erase Jin Sun's soul imprint in the storage ring. Holding the storage ring, Night Sorrow meditated in his room and began to use his soul power to attack the storage ring. Jin Sun's soul power was constantly running away, not letting Night Sorrow's soul power attack hit it. However, Night Sorrow's soul power was constantly invading, and had a great advantage. Slowly, it wrapped around Jin Sun's soul power. After wrapping around Jin Sun's soul power, Night Sorrow began to kill and refine it. Jin Sun's soul power struggled fiercely, but Night Sorrow firmly suppressed it. After a night, the 2 girls got up and washed up, but Night Sorrow was still meditating. In the evening, Night Sorrow finally completely destroyed Jin Sun's soul power, and Night Sorrow also checked the space inside the storage ring. After a thorough investigation, Yishang was shocked because the resources inside Jin Sun's storage ring were simply too abundant. There were over 1,000 high-grade spirit stones and 4,000 or 5,000 mid-grade spirit stones. There were also a few water-attributed spirit stones. In addition, there were also piles of alchemy and blacksmithing materials. This situation made Night Sorrow very surprised. He did not understand how Jin Sun could have so many resources, but this was a good thing. Night Moon Dynasty urgently needed resources to recover, and Night Sorrow's consumption was also relatively large. At this time, Jin Sun was in the Golden Dragon King's disciplinary palace. To put it bluntly, he was locked up. Jin Sun was an elder of the Golden Dragon King's dynasty, and a level 6 supreme was an expert in the Golden Dragon King's dynasty. However, he made a grave mistake this time. He lost a few dozen years' worth of resources, which was unforgivable. However, he said that the storage ring was still connected, and the ring had not been opened, so the Golden Dragon King did not punish him severely. This was also the reason why they paid a huge price to arrest Night Sorrow. Jin Sun could not fake the amount of resources. He went to collect resources, but the Golden Dragon City had sent the bills to the Golden Dragon King. Therefore, the amount of losses this time, the Golden Dragon King dynasty, was very clear. G to the power of U forever exempt A, phi plus little x says J. The moment Night Sorrow opened the storage ring, Jin Sun's expression changed. He lost contact with the storage ring, and this made him know that he was in trouble, because this meant that the resources were in Night Sorrow's hands. He could only report the situation, and what awaited him was the severe punishment of the Golden Dragon King dynasty. No one could protect him. The main reason was that the losses were too great. Night Sorrow counted the spirit stones, put them into his storage ring, and put away the materials. After obtaining a huge harvest, Night Sorrow was very happy. He left the room and went to the training field, watching the members of the god-slaying team cultivate. Did it go well? Sikong Chuyu came to Night Sorrow's side and asked. It's done, we got a huge amount of resources. Night Sorrow nodded. At this time, Yi Ling Lan brought 2 men to the training field. Yi Wuming and Yi Wunan greet the young master. The 2 men bowed when they saw Night Sorrow. No need to be so polite. Night Sorrow waved his hand and helped the 2 men up. Young master, they are here to guard the teleportation array. Yi Ling Lan said. You too, take a look at the people here. You don't need to check them when they teleport in the future. Also, you know who is teleporting here. The teleportation matrix is the key to the safety of Sky City, Ishan said to Yi Wuming and Yi Wuming. Young master, don't worry. Even if we die, we will ensure the safety of the teleportation array. Yi Wuming and Yi Wunan bowed again to Night Sorrow. Love go little say W, Chu, Xueling, Liyue, give them the yang lightning of the yin yang lightning array. Night Sorrow waved to Xueling and Nan Liyue. Then, he told Yi Wuming and Yi Wunan how to use the yin yang lightning array. Young master, you are very careful. This will be safer. Yi Ling Lan nodded in appreciation. He didn't expect Night Sorrow to be so experienced. We have only used half of the mansion here. If Night Moon needs it, you can use it as a stronghold. Night Sorrow said. Yi Ling Lan nodded and left the mansion. He went to the city to exchange for materials. Night Moon City and Sky City needed to be built. In addition, the citizens of Night Moon needed a large amount of resources. Spiritual stones alone wouldn't be of much use. They needed to exchange for the most scarce resources and materials. In the evening, when Night Sorrow was practicing his spear arts, Yi Ling Lan returned. Young master, you should go to Sky City with me. It is too dangerous for you to go out and kill. Yi Ling Lan said. When he went out to exchange for resources today, he heard that Night Sorrow was looking for trouble with the dynasties again. He also knew that the dynasties wanted Night Sorrow. It's fine. However, we still have to go to Sky City. Don't forget to leave some space for us. Night Sorrow said with a smile. Don't worry about that, young master. Young master's mansion has already been set up. In addition, there are also some pavilions for cultivation and a martial arts arena. Young master's brothers have gone there. There will be places for them to rest and cultivate, Yi Ling Lan said. All right. Everyone stop cultivating and tidy up. I will bring you to another good place. Night Sorrow clapped his hands. Leader, where are we going? Ling Long walked over and asked. Sky City. I like it very much. However, I don't know if you will like it. Night Sorrow said with a smile. Then what are we waiting for? Let's go. Ling Long said. When they arrived at the teleportation array, Night Sorrow threw a storage belt to Yi Wuming. Those who use this teleportation array are our own people. Use this to teleport. Then, the group teleported to Sky City. It's so beautiful. I want to stay here in the future. Leader, you have to arrange this for me. Ling Long said when they arrived at Sky City. Let's take a look first. If you like it, I will think of something. Night Sorrow smiled. This place was indeed beautiful. Night Sorrow liked it very much. Then, under Yi Ling Lan's lead, the group arrived at a martial arts arena. There were dozens of pavilions on the side of the arena. It was enough for the god-slaying squad to live in. This place was built according to the young master's request. It should be enough. If it is not, I will send more people to build it. Yi Ling Lan said. It should be enough. If it is not enough, we will talk about it. Xueling, Ho Jian, arrange for everyone to live in. Night Sorrow made arrangements. After Night Sorrow made arrangements for the god-slaying squad, Yi Ling Lan led Night Sorrow, Yang Lei, and Sikong Chuyu to the edge of Sky City. It was a mansion near the lake. Young master, do you like this place? Yi Ling Lan asked after leading Knight Sorrow and the others to the mansion. Very good. It gives people a refreshing feeling. Knight Sorrow said with a smile. Young master, as long as you like it. In the future, when you are free, you can cultivate and rest in Sky City. Yi Ling Lan said. But I can't do it now. If I don't solve Night Moon's problem, how can I live in peace? Knight Sorrow sighed. He was under a lot of pressure now because the dynasties were eyeing him covetously. Chapter 638. Genius 1 second. Remember love go divided by Shao. We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Yi Ling Lan also knew that Knight Sorrow was under a lot of pressure because the Night Moon dynasty's opponents were too powerful. Baidu search AI go female sign Shao say www.aichuxs.com. This still needs time. My cultivation still needs to be accumulated and stabilized. Knight Sorrow said. Original version. Now that the Night Moon dynasty has entered a period of recovery, young master, why don't you go into seclusion and cultivate? It would be best for you to come out when you are strong enough to intimidate one side. Yi Ling Lan said. I can wait, but what about the people of the Night Moon dynasty? What kind of life do they live? They don't have faith, they don't have the roots in their hearts. These days are torture for them. Knight Sorrow said. I understand. Young master, don't worry. If everyone works together, the Night Moon dynasty will definitely rise again. Yuexiang City's situation is rare after all. Yi Ling Lan said. He was worried that the situation in Yuexiang City would affect Knight Sorrow's mood. I understand. Night Moon City, Wuo City, and Wuemo City's people of the Night Moon dynasty are all worthy of respect. I am also willing to fight for them. Yuexiang City is out of the question. Knight Sorrow said with a smile. He really didn't care about Yuexiang City's attitude. He just didn't want to have anything to do with Yuexiang City in the future. After chatting for a while, when Yi Ling Lan was about to leave, Knight Sorrow gave Yi Ling Lan 2,000 mid-grade spirit stones. Mid-grade spirit stones were meaningless to Knight Sorrow, so he also gave Yi Ling Lan some high-grade spirit stones. Seeing Knight Sorrow take out so many spirit stones, Yi Ling Lan was very surprised. He didn't know where Knight Sorrow got so many resources. The first time he took out so many spirit stones and elixirs, the number of spirit stones and elixirs he took out was already terrifying. Take it. Night Moon is my family. Whatever I do for my family is what I should do. Knight Sorrow said to Yi Ling Lan. Young Master is Night Moon's lucky star. Ever since Young Master appeared, Night Moon's view of him began to change, Yi Ling Lan said excitedly. After Yi Ling Lan left, Knight Sorrow and the two girls strolled around the mansion. This was a very grand and stylish mansion. There was even a viewing platform on the roof where one could enjoy the cool breeze and watch the scenery of the lake. We have a lot of mansions, but the style and layout here is the most comfortable. It really makes one feel relaxed and happy. Yang Lei sighed as she sat on a rocking chair on the mansion's viewing platform. It's convenient to have a teleportation formation. If we want to return to the eastern Xian region in the future, we can go to the Medicine Valley. Later, I'll go to Danding City to set up a teleportation formation and connect Danding City to the Medicine Valley and Zhuyuan City. Knight Sorrow said. He still wanted the Medicine Valley to develop as soon as possible. In Knight Sorrow's heart, Night Moon's matter was important. The Medicine Valley's matter was also important. In addition, the matter of Taichuan was also a sore point for Knight Sorrow. It was just that he had never mentioned it. Without reaching the Exalt realm, Knight Sorrow couldn't investigate it. There was no point in being anxious. A teleportation formation used to be such a luxurious thing. The entire Medicine Valley didn't have one. Now, 13, you can set one up whenever you want. The world has changed too much. Yang Lei sighed. Ninth senior sister, the world hasn't changed. It's the people who have changed. It's the people who have changed the world. Sikong Chuyu brewed a pot of tea and said, "You're right. It's the people who have changed the world." I still remember clearly that the Medicine Valley was oppressed in the past. The disciples of the Golden Flame sect were so arrogant when they came to the Medicine Valley. I couldn't even bear to look them in the eye. Even the people of the Tai family in Nanyang City could come to the Medicine Valley to show off their strength. But now, they've been annihilated. Yang Lei said. The Medicine Valley will get better and better. It's on the right track. The disciples will rise rapidly. The older generation will also reach a higher level. Sikong Chuyu said. Chuyu, we'll visit your home again when we have time. After experiencing this setback, the Sikong family should have more room for development. Night Sorrow said. The main thing is that you're wanted now. It's troublesome. Once you reach the Exalt realm, the wanted list will be Bullsh *T. Ordinary Exalts are no match for you. High-level Exalts are busy cultivating every day. They don't have time to catch this and that. Sikong Chuyu said with a smile. In the end, it's still about cultivation. As long as you have cultivation, you'll have enough confidence. No matter where you stand, your back will be straight. Night Sorrow smiled. You should be content. You're only 20 years old. Who can compare with you in the 9 regions and 18 states? Yang Lei said with a smile. There's one more thing. If you see Ji Yuhao from the Ji Yu family, you must avoid him. Don't fight him head-on. Night Sorrow said. Is that guy very strong? Yang Lei asked. Yes. He entered the Exalt realm with the time attribute. His combat strength is very strong. The main thing is his speed. This is almost unbeatable. In addition, his sword energy with the time attribute is very powerful. I was hit by his sword a few times and it took me several days to recover. Night Sorrow said. That bastard. I didn't expect him to be alive. Sikong Chuyu frowned. Then you have to be careful. The time attribute is too overbearing. I've never heard of anyone with it before. He's definitely one of the top cultivators. Yang Lei reminded Night Sorrow. She was worried that Night Sorrow would be in danger. Yang Lei didn't have any relatives. She only had her master, senior sister, and fellow apprentices. At present, Night Sorrow was her most important support. Last time, he tried to kill me. In the end, he failed and retreated. It won't be that easy for him to kill me. Night Sorrow said. Both of you like Chuyu. This is fate. He comprehended the time attribute and you have the supreme attribute. This is your enemy. Seize the opportunity to kill him. Yang Lei reminded Night Sorrow. A mountain couldn't accommodate 2 tigers. The geniuses of an era would always clash. The winner would be the one who had the last laugh. That was why Yang Lei reminded Night Sorrow to be ruthless when he had the opportunity. I don't have the opportunity now. He's a venerable but I'm not. I can't do anything about his speed. If I fight a venerable now, as long as he wants to run, I can't do anything about it. Night Sorrow pointed out his weakness. Of all the techniques in the world, only speed is unbreakable. Speed and power are the 2 most crucial factors in battle. Power is your forte, but speed is not enough. You have to find a way to make up for it, Sikong Chuyu said. The soaring dragon steps is flexible enough, but it's not fast enough. Let's talk about it later. Night Sorrow was helpless about his speed. Normally, the space attribute is the best for speed. However, you don't have space attribute movement skills. If you have the chance, you can go to Tianji Tower and ask. Yang Lei said. At this moment, in the manor of Ji Yu's family, Ji Yuhao was commanding a maid. She was wearing the same clothes as Sikong Chuyu and had the same hairstyle. At the same time, she was lashing the maid with a whip in her hand. Bitch, one day I'll make you moan under me. Chapter 639. Genius 1 second. Remember love divided by go divided by little? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. In terms of cultivation and battle strength, one could surpass the opponent. As long as one could crush and kill the opponent, the problem would be solved. However, some problems were not. They were intrinsic. Love go little say netku, for example, sikong chuyu like night sorrow and looked down on ji yuhao. This was the fundamental problem. It meant that ji yuhao was not as good as night sorrow. Even if he killed night sorrow, he could not change this fact. This was also the reason why ji yuhao was so depressed. Bitch. After a while, ji yuhao kicked the maidservant away and went back to his cultivation. He couldn't kill Yi Shang now, so he had to improve his power. Night Sorrow and the other two strolled around the mansion. Night Sorrow also casually set up some formations. We will stay here in the future. The scenery is good, and it is not noisy. It is also convenient for us to travel, said Yang Lei. Okay, if you like it here, then it is here. I have no objections, said Night Sorrow with a smile. He really did not care about these things. After familiarizing himself with the mansion, Night Sorrow took the two girls to the place where the god-slaying squad rested and cultivated. Captain, we will stay here in the future. Everyone likes it here, said Ho Jian, looking at Night Sorrow. It is okay for now. However, when we get married, it will not be suitable for us to live together. I think we can build many villas on the slope of the mountain. When the time comes, whoever gets married, let me know. I will arrange for the villas to be built, said Night Sorrow after thinking for a while. Everyone was very happy with Yi Shang's words. Currently, everyone's living conditions were very good, but if they wanted to start a family, it would be a little lacking. After all, they couldn't be a family and cultivate and train together with the other brothers. After checking everyone's situation, Night Sorrow went to Yi Ling Lan's place. Yi Ling Lan's place was in the canyon, a pavilion built not far from the teleportation formation. Night Sorrow said that he wanted to reserve an area. Alright, that area will be reserved for the young master, Yi Ling Lan said. After talking with Yi Ling Lan for a while, Night Sorrow brought the two women back to the mansion. There were also two servants arranged by Yi Ling Lan in the mansion. They lived in the loft at the side of the mansion. Night Sorrow glanced at Tianyu and Silver Fox and went to cultivate. He planned to study the bloodline energy protection talent. Only then would he be able to use the real space crack. While Night Sorrow was cultivating, the others were also cultivating. With Night Sorrow's control and operation, the bloodline talent energy point under his backbone appeared. Night Sorrow tried to use this energy to create a protective shield around his body. This was rather complicated. After all, it was not the Dantian exerting force. Night Sorrow liked this kind of challenge. Only when there was difficulty could he feel the thrill of overcoming it. After studying until the middle of the night, Night Sorrow finally understood the bloodline energy protection talent. After studying it, Night Sorrow found that the activation of the bloodline energy protection talent was faster than the activation of the true energy protection talent. After all, it was activated directly, unlike the true energy which had to go through the meridians. After studying it, Night Sorrow went to the courtyard to cultivate. During this cultivation, Night Sorrow found a benefit. When his body moved, the spatial resistance was much smaller. His speed increased by 2 levels. The bloodline energy was greatly consumed. Night Sorrow meditated to recover and then continued to cultivate. He only stopped when the sun rose. Night Sorrow was very happy that his speed had increased by 2 levels. The most important point was that the space attribute protection talent had the ability to isolate the spatial turbulence. Night Sorrow was very puzzled about his nothingness attribute. Now, except for suppressing other attributes, he did not find any special ability. This made him feel very helpless. However, he knew that this was only the current state. Since the nothingness attribute was the supreme attribute, it must have some unknown power. It was just that he had not discovered it yet. While Night Sorrow was thinking, Yang Lei and Sikong Chuyu came to Night Sorrow's side. 6e. The original debut. What are you thinking about? Why are you so lost in thought? Sikong Chuyu helped Knight Sorrow tidy up his robe and said, I'm studying the space crack. I now have a space attribute protection talent. When I enter the venerable realm, I can try to enter the spatial turbulence. Knight Sorrow said. After chatting with the two girls for a while and eating breakfast, Knight Sorrow strolled around the Sky City. At this time, the mountain peak was undergoing changes. However, some of the good scenery was not destroyed. Even the buildings were built to accommodate the previous scenery. Knight Sorrow went to the place where the god-slaying team was and watched them cultivate. Yang Lei and Sikong Chuyu also joined the cultivation team. After watching for a while, Knight Sorrow went to the side and began to refine elixirs. He had obtained a lot of materials from the recent robberies. After working for 6 or 7 days, Knight Sorrow finally turned all the materials into elixirs. Leader, you should be a mobile elixir storage now. We watched you refine elixirs furnace by furnace. Elder Ling Lan bought 3 bottles for you to store elixirs. Shui Ling came to Knight Sorrow and said, Haha. I have a lot of materials. Didn't I snatch a storage ring when I was guarding the rear? I don't know what happened to that guy. The storage ring was full of resources. There were many elixir materials and refining materials. Knight Sorrow said with a smile. Are you done refining? Yang Lei handed a cup of water to Knight Sorrow. Almost. The rest are special materials for refining elixirs. Besides, I don't have enough auxiliary materials. Knight Sorrow drank a mouthful of water and said, Young master, thank you for your hard work. The elixirs you gave us are enough for the Night Moon Dynasty to use for a while. Yi Ling Lan bowed. Knight Sorrow smiled and shook his head. Yi Ling Lan had taken away part of the elixirs he refined because the cultivators in the Night Moon Dynasty were having a hard time. Knight Sorrow drank his tea while watching the others cultivate. Occasionally, he would give them some pointers. What he taught them were techniques related to exerting energy. There were people who had learned the wave force and vibration force. However, until now, no one could comprehend and master the spiral force. After staying for a while to check on Mushizhuang, Tang Tian, and Chu Ning's cultivation, Knight Sorrow returned to his mansion. After entering the mansion, Knight Sorrow was stunned for a moment because he found that Tianyu was breaking through to the 8th level of the Void Inquiry stage. The silver fox obediently stood guard at one side. Knight Sorrow took out a jar of wine and sat at one side. While drinking, he helped Tianyu stand guard. Actually, there was no need to stand guard. They would not be disturbed at all. Knight Sorrow just felt that he should be by Tianyu's side when something happened. At night, Yang Lei and Sikong Chuyu came back. Seeing the situation, Yang Lei asked the servants to prepare 2 side dishes. The 3 of them drank wine and accompanied Tianyu to break through. You're tuning into the Dreamy Love Stories YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.